So I got some uranium. So this is the point. Like I called the government at the time. I was like, hypothetically, if I wanted to work with uranium.
Welcome back to this episode of Trash Taste. Today we have a very special guest, Nigel from Nile Red.
Hello.
You might know his voice if you don't know his face.
Yes.
Can you give us a taste of what you might say? Just so, can you tell? I'm sorry to make you do.
I don't have it. Hello.
Okay, what is
You have to start with what I have here.
Yeah. Please do the intro.
I can't.
Come on, you have to.
The press.
Like I'm just like, okay, fine. What I have here is a Rubik's Cube.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So I think you're on the tier list of YouTubers that if they were in prison would be terrifying. You're up there with Lockpicking Lawyer and you, and then I don't know who else is there.
And Michael Reeves.
Is this an official tier list? Or you just
in my head,
Yeah.
I imagine like YouTubers you wouldn't want to be or would want to be in a prison cell with.
But is that just strictly because of what they do? Or
Yeah, because of what you do. Yeah.
I feel like I could be pleasant in prison.
No, you'd be pleasant, but I would be terrified of what you're getting up to.
Yeah.
I
I would want to be on
What I have here today is some.
I would definitely be like, you know, when you see those prison documentaries and there's like they show like the guys just doing some weird stuff in the cell. I'd definitely be one of those guys. Like
That's why I'd be scared of having the cell
I
with you.
collected like little pieces from my meals.
I'd come back to my cell and be like, "Do you smell almonds?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, why?" He's like, "Good."
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
What I have here is a knife I made from almonds.
By the way, I think the mic needs to be close to your mouth.
I was talking more about cyanide, but that's it.
Sorry, we forgot to mention before the podcast. You kind of have to like be really close to the mic.
Just
I
shout.
think I just speak really loud.
Okay, yeah, that works too. That works too.
That works as well.
So, yeah, if you don't know Nigel does chemistry videos on YouTube and makes quite bizarre things, I'd say.
Yeah.
You've
What are
definitely
your-
seen him on like YouTube Shorts.
What's some of the
and stuff like
greatest
that.
hits of-
Yeah.
Yeah, when someone recognizes you, what is the video that they always bring up to be like, oh, you're that guy from X video?
I think it depends.
Yeah.
Like some of the videos are normal.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I just made
Define normal.
I made things like just materials. So like I made aerogel.
Yeah.
Like a superconductor.
That was awesome.
Those
Yeah.
are just like I'd say like
Oh
normal.
yeah, perfect.
But then-
I see aerogel every day of the week. Superconductors, yeah.
You made
I
gloves out of grape or hot sauce? Which one?
Yeah, so that's probably like it's still just chemistry, so it's like a bit
Yeah.
further away from normal. Like the transition is a bit odd. But I think the thing that people call me out on that I'm always like, is the stuff I did with pee.
Well, were you trying to drink your own pee?
There was so
Okay, wait, what's
I'll
the
say there was a bunch. I've made probably a couple full-length videos involving pee, where I involve my own pee, and then
It's wasted
one
potential.
short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for one of the long ones, I did. Actually, it wasn't my pee. I was in
Who's
part,
P?
in part of the. We've actually talked about this on my podcast before.
Okay.
Right.
With the I did one on diabetes.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
this is like early in the channel, and a friend was diabetic.
Yeah.
But the early way that they detected it was by tasting it and to see if it's sweet.
What?
So
The P?
yeah, because there could be sugar in it. And so like when I first thought of the video, I'm like, yeah, I'll taste it. But I chickened out. I couldn't do it.
So you didn't taste your friend's pee?
No.
Okay.
I couldn't do it.
That would have been a pretty epic moment. Not gonna lie. Like I would definitely remember you for that if you did that.
I couldn't do
I
it.
was waiting for the information to match up there where you're telling that story. So you're like, yeah, so I did a video with P. So how that started is my friend was diabetic. So then P, right? Go on.
I don't know why I decided to do that video. I thought it was interesting. Like just the
Yeah.
whole way that like that's how it started. People didn't know what
Yeah.
diabetes was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like some of the early doctors. I think they tasted people's blood. They just like
Yeah.
they did.
Well, you had to do what you had to do, right? Like,
Doctors must have been like the biggest casualties back in the day from just eating this shit and just drinking people's hepatitis-ridden blood.
I think they definitely like imagine your patient like pee in a cup and you sip it.
Not what I was expecting.
I think diabetes, like the full name, diabetes mellitus, I forget what diabetes means, but it means mellitus means sweet.
Right.
So like it comes after like the taste. So, but then since then, obviously the goal was to get a method that didn't involve you tasting pee. So then it was a chemical method.
Yeah.
They found out how to test things, test for sugar with chemistry.
Okay.
And then that was not very useful. So then they started using like a
back to the
digital
humans.
probe.
Okay.
Oh no, they went.
We know a guy. We know a guy.
I just thought it was cool.
That's a 10.
So I wanted to do a video on it.
Yeah.
But the one that I used my own pee was I wanted to make, there was a sweetener that you can make from urea. Which
Right.
is
Right.
in your pee. So I
Yeah.
collected a bunch of my own pee. I boiled it off in my backyard.
I'm assuming you don't use this like saucepan anymore.
Sorry?
Do you use this pan anymore that you boiled
Oh,
it?
I know it's probably long gone.
Okay, I was going to say,
Yeah. No, and-
sell it to some Goodwill. Someone else will have a use for it.
I think the pee smell never came out of it. So I just threw it out. I think all the glassware I used for that video, there's just this musty pee smell that I
There's nothing more unpleasant sounding than boiling pee, you know?
it
Like the
wasn't
smell
bad.
of
So-
hot pee.
It wasn't bad at the beginning.
Right.
It was like a
Right.
hot summer day, and I remember I sat
Right.
there I think I was like reading a book while the pee was just boiling.
So you used to do this in your backyard, but
My
do you
parents' backyard.
Oh my god!
God.
I'm sure your parents.
You were the neighbor's kid.
Yeah, no, we did some stuff. The neighbor, I don't think I could have the channel if my neighbors weren't more tolerant.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
We did a lot of stuff where I remember one day I was trying to distill mercury. I was doing it in my driveway.
Just casually, you know?
Your driveway.
Yeah, I had like
yeah.
a full like I think I was trying to be careful, so I had like a respirator on. I had like a full coat and everything.
Oh my God.
And the neighbor comes over,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What are you doing?" And it's just like boiling metal, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm distilling mercury." He's like, "Cool." It just goes in his house. He's like, "Oh, that's cool." And I'm like, "Man, I would not be this cool of a neighbor."
No.
Yeah.
If my neighbor was distilling mercury, I think I'd be like, "Hey, government, can you do something about
Yeah.
this guy? He's
He
fucking.
has to be on a watch list or
He's got
something.
uranium in the back, and he's making uranium things. I'm kind of scared.
Just my neighbors and my parents in general were just I think Canada too, just like the government also doesn't seem to care. I mean, maybe saying this.
You shouldn't say
Some of
that.
these
Don't let them
Whole
know.
claim, like.
Well, so you're making all this chemistry stuff, and you're doing it for YouTube. It's all for YouTube, right? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't.
I mean, like, how would you describe your content to someone like maybe some people in the audience? How would you describe someone your content to people who don't know what you do?
I think maybe I should say how it started.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
No, I'm saying like just for it to make sense.
Right.
I've always been
Pee.
I've always
So I
just
started
liked doing
pissing.
just random projects. So as
Yeah.
a kid, I used to build a lot of things.
Right.
So I made like bike jumps and just I tried to build a bunch of random stuff. And then at some point I got into fireworks and firecrackers.
Hold on. That's a big jump from like tiny little jumps to explosive shit.
So because in Canada you can't buy firecrackers.
Oh, really?
Well,
Well, are they just like
It's even more concerning that you were playing with them.
yeah. So like whenever you would get them,
Could you
it'd be
buy
like-
bike racks as well?
Sorry.
Could you buy bike
Yeah, that's
jumps
why
as
that's
well?
why they stopped being as
Yeah.
fun.
What age are we talking about now when you got into fire?
Shockingly young, I'd say. Like I would never let a kid do that. Like probably this is like the one story I have with my neighbor too. We were trying to make smoke. I was trying to make smoke bombs with my brother, and we found the recipe
Right.
in a book because you had to go to the library to
Yeah,
find
yeah,
these
yeah.
recipes.
This is insane.
Wait, how old were you?
I think I was 9 or 10.
Oh my god.
I thought this was like
Smoke bombs?
I thought this was like your teenage years.
No. I was like, so we made it. We've like basically in the book it says even heating, don't overheat it. My brother and I are like, oh, we can get away with a blowtorch, and we overheated it, so it went off in the garage, and smoke's pouring everywhere. And then to put it out, there's like ash all over my dad's stuff, and we freaked out and just shot water all over. It's all electronics.
Oh my god.
But the neighbor's like, do we need like the fire department? There's just smoke pouring out of the garage. And we're like, no, it's okay, we got this. And she's like, okay.
So
You were doing that
Wait,
stuff at 9. I was
wait,
like
wait,
eating Legos at
wait,
9.
yeah,
I
wait.
was- yeah, we were doing.
This is insane.
Yeah.
Like this is insanity.
I think, and I remember all the memories are coming back. So like
Yeah.
one thing we did was, you know, like little caps you put in like cap guns.
Yeah.
In Australia.
Wait, where do you think I'm from?
Oh, Britain.
I'm from Australia.
He's the Australian one.
I'm not from a prison. I would never.
got
Yeah,
confused for a
we
second.
cap guns. Is that? Yeah, we do have those. We have those.
Like
The ones
little
that-
paper caps or the little plastic ones you put in a fake gun, and
oh.
They just go bang.
I thought you meant the ones that they use in like the race guns.
those are starter pistols. Those are much
Yeah.
louder.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like the little kid toys, right?
Yeah,
They're, like,
the ones
done-
that make the sound but nothing comes out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I know those.
Yeah.
I think we have those in the
Okay,
UK.
for some
I don't
reason,
know.
I thought some people.
Maybe I don't know.
But probably think I was like 10 or 11. My friend and I we found that you could take the paper caps, you could cut them all up, and I'd pack them in like really tightly, and you could put them in a paintball gun, and then shoot it and it would explode when it hit
Okay,
things.
where did you get a paintball gun from?
Oh, I got it at the store. My parents let me buy all this.
What the fuck? Your parents are so lucky that you still have all your limbs. Like, how are you not maimed badly?
Because my dad, I mean, I think the big thing is my dad, the reason we did it is because my dad liked firecrackers and he liked all this stuff. And I think the reason that we didn't get hurt was because our first experience was he taught us everything. So he would be like, the thing, like, he would be like, never light a firecracker and throw it. Because as a kid, he's like, I don't think his friends ever lost their fingers, but he's like, we had some close calls, and I think a friend did lose like a piece of a finger. So he's like, no, you don't do that. You light and run.
Yeah.
So like he taught us a lot of that stuff. I mean, we had BB guns at like 10, but he's like always wear safety glasses. Like we learned all our guns.
It's a gun. Wear some glasses.
He was always there with us.
Light and run, is that the official safety regulation? just light and run. Just light and run.
It just, if you light it, you're not holding it.
Okay, so you were doing that, and then in the library there was a book?
I never even like. This is a huge tangent.
Yeah.
No, it's just there was no internet at the time.
So, but in the library there was a book that taught you how to make smoke bombs.
Well, loosely, they just kind of said like smoke bombs are made using this.
Oh, and you just extrapolated?
Yeah.
You were like, oh, well, I can get that.
And getting, actually, now I remember getting potassium nitrate, which is also called saltpeter.
As you do.
We couldn't buy it. But
I don't even know where you buy it now.
well, I know you can just buy it online now, like eBay and stuff. But my dad was like, "Oh, your grandfather has some left. I don't know where he got it from. He had leftover.
What? You realize everything you've said so far is insane. Like this is every single beat of this story is insane.
This story has got progressively more insane the more you've said. The more
I don't know. I don't know why he had it.
So-
He had this really old, like, just it was just in our garage.
Does it
So
expire?
okay, so you want to make a
think
smoke
so.
bomb, and then you get this book, and you go to your dad, and you're like, "Hey, Dad, I want to make this smoke bomb."
Yeah.
And
He's
instead
like,
of
I think I got some.
yeah, instead of your dad being like, "No, son, come on, that's silly," he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll go and get some potassium. What was it?
Potassium nitrate.
Potassium nitrate, of course. Yeah, naturally.
We did have a successful smoke bomb after the first failed one.
What happened? What was the difference between the failed one and the successful one?
Well, we overheated the first one. It went off while we were making it. So it's like, it just filled the house with like the whole garage.
Was your dad watching you the first time you were making the smoke bomb?
No, he was watching TV.
So and then you fucked it up so badly. He was like, "All right, when you're gonna do it again, let me watch."
No, I think my brother and I just said, okay, we shouldn't have used a blowtorch. I don't.
Okay, okay. So
Wait, did your dad never like question me like, why is the garage smoky?
My dad is inexplicably tolerant to like, I think it's because as a kid, my dad did some crazy stuff as a kid.
Yeah.
Like the BB guns he taught us how to shoot. As a kid, he was like, we had BB gun wars with no safety glasses. He goes, you would just shoot each other. And he goes, I remember many days I'd come home and you have to pick BBs out with tweezers.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what if they hit your eye? He's like, I don't know, I guess you went blind. We never thought about it. And I was like,
what about your mum this whole time? Is she just like, for fuck's sake?
my mom got mad at us for like,
Everything.
no. I remember there was one time my mom got mad.
Okay.
Because
Only one?
This is gonna sound even like it's
This is great. This is
on,
okay.
go on,
No,
please,
you may as well
please.
keep upping the ante at this point.
so it, just like these memories coming back. I talked to my brother about this recently. So we were like fascinated by fire.
What
right?
age- what
Like,
a-
we're
okay.
like we were like cavemen.
What age was this?
I think about the same age.
Oh my, 9?
Like 9, 10.
10.
Oh my God. So
10.
9, 10, fascinated with fire. Okay,
So
here we
what
go.
we like to do, like the idea, I remember days I'd come home, so bad. I would just go in my garage, I'd just pour like some paint thinner into a can and just light it on fire, just because I was like, I just like burning stuff. So
Alright, so that's how people become arsonists.
so what we like to do.
Oh my God. Okay.
So we would like to do is like soak a rag in like some paint thinner or something.
You just made a Molotov
No.
cocktail.
No, just listen. We'd wrap it around like a stick, and we'd like to light it on fire and just like swing it around. As we were like 10.
So you made like the torches in like all
Yeah.
the movies. Okay. Yeah.
And
Right.
so like what this is like the extra level I said. My brother, I remember exactly what he did. He found out a way to like, I remember exactly what he did. He like packed the rag, but he shot like WD-40 on it or something. And what my older brother did was he would like, I don't remember exactly. He make like, it would be fiery, but then it was in a tube and he would like blow on it and like smoke would come out. And he would use it to like, we had wasp nests. He'd use it to try to kill
my
the wasps. I don't remember if it ever worked.
I mean,
But my brother would do that, and then I would be like swinging around like this fiery stick, and we thought she wasn't home. And when she came home, because we'd light it in the front and run to the back,
Just saw two
she caught us
Neanderthals in the
just
backyard.
running through the backyard with like giant flaming sticks, and my mom was like, Yeah, that's not okay.
Your household was just like Ed, and Eddie, like IRL, just like Phineas and Ferb, but like
It was
but way more dangerous.
Literally that scene from Community where like fucking Childish Gambino walks in and just like
everything's on fire.
everything's on fire.
Okay.
It didn't. I think the big thing too is like I respected my parents.
Yeah.
So when my mom caught us and told us don't do that, I think we did stop. Like we stopped
Well, yeah,
lighting
I'd like to
sticks.
think so.
We just
You would be an interesting study, I think. Like, is it nurture or nature? Let's find out. What makes a kid become obsessed with fire? Is it genetics or is it?
I think everyone is obsessed
Yeah.
with fire to a point. I mean, you know, it's hypnotizing, you know.
Yeah.
Especially setting things on fire.
Sound like an
now I'm
arsonist.
outing
You sound-
myself.
you sound like-
Now I'm outing
you
myself.
sound like an arsonist.
I get you. I get you.
I've
Okay,
been
I get you,
camping with him.
Nigel.
He is an arsonist.
I had a bad experience though, which I then didn't light anything on fire for 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, do tell.
It's crazy,
Do tell.
right? So the big change for me was when I hit 12, where you could buy a lighter, right?
All right, what?
They just wouldn't sell lighters if you're younger than 12.
Why are they selling lighters to 12-year-olds? What reason would a 12-year-old need a lighter for?
I don't even know.
Light your dad's cigarette.
I like how you know this. Presumably, you went to the store.
Oh, they would never let you buy it, and then
Did you go before 12?
yeah, and they would go, "You're too young." And then for some reason, now that
Nigel!
Every birthday, he'd like test it out, being like, "Oh, maybe this year, this will
This
be
is the year. This is the year.
I don't know, but there's just an arbitrary age.
Okay,
I
so
don't know if it's
yeah.
a rule.
So
I don't.
you
I don't.
wanted to buy a lighter.
It can't be a law.
In
Okay.
the UK, the law before you can buy lighters is, I believe, 16.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know why I thought 12 in my head.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever bought a lighter.
I didn't buy a ladder until I was like in my 20s.
I've just bought those kitchen lighters. You know the ones, the long ones?
Oh, yeah.
I bought my first blowtorch when I was 12.
Oh my fuck. Okay, all right, hold on.
Blowtorch?
No, never. Okay,
That's
hold
one thing
up.
I've never
Okay,
bought before.
this is just like a choose your own adventure. I gotta navigate which tangent I want to go down here.
That one's actually the blowtorch one's more related to chemistry, but
All right, okay, let's save the blowtorch then after. Okay, why did you become scared of fire for 2 years?
oh, so what happened was my friend, the one who I built like the firecracker, like explodey paintball gun thing,
Yeah.
and
As you do.
a lot of this stuff was with my friend,
Right.
growing up. And what happened was we just like to light a bunch of stuff on fire. And in Montreal, I don't know if it happens elsewhere. It was around it was sometime in the summer.
Yeah.
There would be like this big pollination thing, and everything would be covered in white fluff. But we found out that if you light it on fire, the fire just like travels as like a wave down it.
Right.
It's a massive fire hazard. I don't know how it even it's just sitting around all the time.
Okay.
So it was really fun. We'd bike around, and if you found something, you just light it on fire. But you'd always be careful. And so like
Oh yeah. Okay, I believe you.
So I told my friend,
Light and run, right? Light and run.
I told my friend, like, if you're gonna light it, make sure that you see the end of it. Like, it's not gonna just spread out.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I got you. But when he lit one, he lit it, and then he comes to me and goes, he starts freaking out because it just started like traveling.
Yeah.
So you could have like a patch this big, you light it, just like expands,
Yeah.
it's gone. But it expanded here, but then he didn't realize it was connected to two things here, and it just went and just like it just
Chain reaction.
you try to stomp it out before you know it, it's covering like, an area that you can't, it's like huge.
Right.
And then it goes into leaves and like sticks and just you start having fire like this high.
What? Did it?
So
How
your
did
friend
it?
almost started a bushfire. But
Did it get put out?
Well, so what happened is probably like, it was like along a fence. So it's probably like from that wall, like twice the length there was like foot long fire, like flames. And like maybe like half the depth of this room, to the point where you're like, you cannot stomp this out. The fire's just there.
Did it go out eventually?
So multiple people came by. It's really weird to think about. Like the cars pulled up and they're like, oh no, that's like a real fire. Like, should we call the fire department? They're asking 12-year-olds. Or no, we were 11 to be like, should we call the fire department? And we're like, no, we're putting it out. And they're like, okay. And they just left.
what?
They just left. And then this old lady came by and we're like, we asked like, can we have some water?
Yeah.
Like we even asked another guy, he's like, I don't live out here, and just left. But like the lady's like, okay. And she just walked so slowly. And eventually we got water from her. By the time we came back, the fire was like,
Yeah.
it was so long.
So you're
But-
very lucky that it kind of dissipated.
Yeah, but we panicked. But what the scary part was it was like a chain link fence holding all these leaves. But behind it was like multiple yards, like backyards of people that were filled with old leaves and like thick amounts.
Oh my
And people on
God.
wood decks were like, it might have just burned people's houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we kind of just panicked, and my friend was like, I'm never lighting a fire again. And he just threw his lighter into like the forest.
And it just set ablaze.
And then boom.
No, we vowed to like never light a fire again.
And so 2 years later,
We didn't
you light a
sleep
fire.
properly for like a week.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
you guys were one step away from being arsonists.
So you very quickly got over your trauma then. It only took 2 years and then you're back at it.
I never really like, I kind of just stopped lighting things on fire. Like, I mean, like for that period, I just didn't. I just didn't like
You
fire.
make it sound like it's something to be like applauded. Like, well, congratulations, Nigel.
Wow.
Nigel, you
What a good
you quit
child.
fire. What a good kid.
This is Arsonist Anonymous right now.
Yeah.
So I've been 2 years fire free. Haven't lit anything on fire. Saw a match the other day, and
So what was the moment where one day your brain was just like, I'm gonna light a fire?
I mean, like, so to clarify, it's more like when people would be like, oh, like I was still pretty young, but people were like, oh, we're going to a family friend's place. They have a fire in the backyard.
Right,
I'd
right.
kind of be like, I'm not like, I might not even go out and see the fire. Like I was kind of just like, I brought back like a very negative feeling that I was just like, I don't even want to be,
The guilt.
and I didn't even want to own a lighter.
Yeah.
Because it's like I couldn't help myself. No, I just
Like frothing at the mouth.
I just like literally holding it like brought up so much like panic because we literally thought we were gonna go to like kid jail.
jail.
Like juvie or something.
Yeah.
Like we actually thought, because at the time, both my friend and I wanted to go to med school. We're like, our lives would be over.
Yeah.
Cool.
I want to be a vet. I was like, at least our lives would be over. So like it represented so much negativity that I was like, I just didn't even want to own matches or a lighter.
Yeah.
And then obviously like 2 years later, you're kind of like, okay, and kind of there are situations where you might need, like you're at like, I'm at my parents' house and my mom's like, here's the lighter, can you light the birthday cake? And I'm not going to be like, no. So it's like just eventually I
Got over it.
yeah, and I don't really
Yeah.
I just stopped. I mean, it's also a kid phase of just lighting things.
Yeah.
on
Oh
fire.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's like she hands you the lighter and you just stare at it
Yeah.
for like 5
Just
minutes.
like-
just
Like Nam flashbacks.
Yeah, it's like it's like those horror movies where like the whole room just like yeah.
Do you have any other antics from your childhood involving very dangerous things that you shouldn't have been doing?
No, I feel like a lot of my experiences are actually kind of similar to the fire thing. Like I had a couple
Yeah.
negative experiences that just made me stop.
yeah.
The firecrackers was like I made a firecracker with my friend and we were super proud of it.
Wait, how did you make a fire?
We opened up like all individual caps and like packed them into a little paper roll we made. But those are really dangerous because they're pressure sensitive. So if you screw up, it'll just blow up.
You like
Wouldn't really
disarming
hurt you. It
bombs.
wouldn't really like hurt you though.
This is insane.
But we started getting, because you can't buy firecrackers in Canada, but you can buy the ones that shoot up in the air and explode. And I realized you can just unpeel them and take them apart. But like we started blowing.
Who realized that? No one should realize
I think
that.
that's actually just a crime. So
Is it actually?
probably. I don't know. But I don't,
I've never got
I don't
a firework
do that anymore.
I never had a firework and thought I should open this up.
Yeah.
Just see what's going on.
Yeah.
No, I wanted the firecracker in it.
Oh my god.
But then I started realizing like they were big enough that like I think if you held them,
It would literally blow your hand off.
yeah. Well, I have I have videos I can show you of tests. Like we bought a chicken cutlet from the store and we wrapped it and I put it on like a stand next to the fence. And when it exploded, it just sprayed like paste on the fence. And I was like, yeah, it's not a perfect
Probably
representation.
shouldn't be holding it.
But like.
Your hand would be gone.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you'd have, even if it doesn't blow your fingers off, you probably have like chunks of your fingers missing. And I remember just for some reason I was like, I just got scared. And I was like,
yeah,
this
of
is-
course.
Yeah.
I was like, I
As
don't
you
like
should
this.
be.
And then I just stopped working with explosives. Like nothing actually happened. Actually, that's not true. But so, okay.
Go on.
So, this
You are the scared. You know what I mean? This is why you're the one I do not want to be in a prison cell.
So this is actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like therapy. Like,
yeah, this is okay. Go.
This is great. This is great.
so what happened was
Therapy where the
my
therapist
dad
monetizes it.
My dad vaguely told us about this. He's like, if you put 2 firecrackers in a tube and with open ends and you link it up properly, you can launch one firecracker out that's lit and you can have it explode in the air.
Okay.
So
Why did he tell you this?
He said he did as a kid and it was like, it was
Your
fun,
dad
I
is
guess.
insane.
So we did that a bunch.
Yeah.
right.
And it worked. But then my dad also alluded to the fact that he's like, you can put a BB in the tube and it's like a gun.
So you made a gun.
No, but so I guess.
You made a gun. You made a projectile. You made an explosive that shoots a projectile
Like, I'm not gonna say it outright,
in
but
a cylinder.
This was This was many years ago. for legal reasons, this was many years ago.
Yes.
So what happened was we did that. And we put one BB in, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
But then I was like, if you put a lot of BBs in,
And you've made a shotgun.
but the problem is like my dad also the safety thing. He's like never seal the tube because like if anything happens, it'll actually just like shoot shrapnel out, like which is
So it'll be a
dangerous.
grenade.
Yeah. So he's like, so we never sealed it. But I put all these BBs in the front. And when I lit the back of it, I put too many BBs. So it kind of like sealed the end and shot all of like the firecracker like debris and stuff backwards.
Yeah.
But my hand was in the way.
Oh fuck.
So I remember it went off and then my hand just went numb.
Yeah.
And I thought I like lost my hand, but I was kid panic. But I looked at it and I remember I just had like it was like basically shotgun blasted with like little like pieces. I don't know if they put, it's not concrete, but it's like a solid thing on each ends that they make the firecrackers out of.
Yeah.
So, and I just had like hundreds of little blood blisters on my hand.
Oh my God.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but you like.
But that's what put the fear of explosives in my head. Because I was like,
I have a healthy fear of explosives, and
I was
I've
like,
never
things
had
went
my hand
wrong.
blown off.
I can't believe I'm saying this. You make Michael Reeves look well adjusted.
Oh no, but it's all kid stuff.
It's crazy. That,
This
like,
is
I've
age
never-
12.
Okay.
Like the fact that
We haven't even gotten past age
the fact
12.
that you still have all your fingers is like a miracle.
Okay, so you're in school at this point, right? So you start high school or middle school. Oh fuck! Oh, no.
Yeah.
Do they have middle school in Canada?
Yeah,
We don't have
Yeah.
middle school in the UK.
Yeah, we have
we
like
have sorry,
secondary school.
middle schools around Canada, but in Quebec we have just high school. Then we have something called CEGEP, which is between high school and university,
Yeah, we have something like that in the
and
UK.
then we have university.
Oh, okay.
So you go into high school, and then presumably you still doing this stuff, or
So that's when I
only
bought the
escalated.
grade 7. I remember was when I bought the blowtorch,
were you okay? I have to ask you.
and this is relevant to my YouTube channel.
Were the other kids scared of you? Did they know what you were doing?
No, but
Did
they
you,
should
did you
have
tell
been.
people?
I brought the blowtorch to school. And I kept it in my locker, and I would show it to people.
Oh my god, you were the one quiet kid in school.
Bro, I genuinely, if you were a kid in my school and you'd a blowtorch, I would be like, everyone stay the fuck away from
Yeah.
Nigel.
I actually burnt my locker a few times. That's like my dad.
Oh my God, Nigel. Okay. So you buy
I remember these are memories that I forgot about.
you buy the blowtorch, and why is it such a momentous occasion for you? Why is it so special?
The reason it's special is because I don't remember exactly why I bought the blowtorch,
yeah.
but I think the reason why I bought it was actually I used it to do my first chemistry experiment.
Okay, what was the experiment?
I wanted to I saw on YouTube a method to take pennies and make them different colors. You can make them like silver or gold.
Right.
And I thought that was insane.
YouTube sent you down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just make colored pennies
Yeah.
and flex on the other kids, right?
You know, I get that sentiment,
kinda
but,
hype. That's kinda
but
hype. I'm on
most
board
kids
now.
when they think, oh, I want different colored pennies, they just like paint.
No, but it looks like the penny is just a golden penny.
Okay, I'm kind of.
Like it's not,
this
like,
is
it's like, it's like
I
not
could
painted.
I could understand why if this sounded easy to do, a kid would do this.
To me, that was
Right.
like magic because I was like, this doesn't make any
I
sense.
mean, that'll
to
give
me.
you
Yeah.
like street cred in school.
Yeah,
right? If you were
definitely,
able to do that.
And even for me, I thought it was just like magical.
Yeah.
Like paint makes sense, but to like turn it just have a penny.
Alchemy.
Yeah.
But it looks like a nickel. That's what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought.
Right,
So I was
right,
like, that's just weird.
Okay, so what happened?
Long story short, I failed.
What was the experiment? What do you have to do?
You just need like some drain cleaner
Right.
and some like zinc metal.
Where did you get zinc metal?
So again, I learned it on the internet. You can like cut open batteries.
Oh my!
and get the battery shells, and then you get the drain cleaner. The problem is at the time I used just Drano, but it's like mixed with like aluminum and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And when I tried it, it just didn't work.
Right.
And I think I tried like twice, and when it failed, I kind of gave up. But it was like the first time I actually did like.
Isn't cutting up batteries scary?
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
If you pop them, don't they explode?
It depends on which battery. It wasn't like
Did
a
you know
lithium
that as
ion.
a?
I saw the tutorial on the
Oh
internet.
my God! Okay. So you got very lucky. You do this and it didn't work. All right, then what? What's the next step?
I kind of just gave up, I guess.
You didn't do any more chemistry during high school?
But no, I'm trying to think. And then after that, I got I started getting back into fireworks. The fire came back.
No.
And I
Because
wanted
it's a lot easier.
I
or-
wanted to make flash powder.
Okay.
What's flash powder?
It's basically what's used in firecrackers.
Oh, is it just stuff that lights on fire?
It does light on fire, but if you have enough of it, it just detonates.
Oh,
And I just thought it was cool.
is it literally just an explosive chemical?
Yeah. It's a mix. I think it's,
Okay, so where so you fail with the pennies.
I thought it was cool.
You presumably go back to normal school life. What gets you back into this?
you're bringing up all this. I haven't even ever talked about this. I forgot about this. I really wanted to make flash powder, to make it, I think it's potassium perchlorate and aluminum powder.
Okay.
So like to make the aluminum powder, at the time you couldn't just buy it. So I bought like the way that there's so many ways that people talked about it, but it's like aluminum foil. You shred it and you put it in like a rock tumbler. And that was like one way.
Okay.
So it was like the beginning of like trying to do these projects for chemistry. And the potassium perchlorate, you buy like salt replacement at the store, and then you can do electrolysis on it. I think that's what you do. I don't remember.
Okay, so how old are you when you did this?
15?
And did you actually do electrolysis when you were 15?
I think I got sidetracked. So I don't think I ever made the flash powder.
Okay.
The hard part, I made the perchlorate, but I never made the aluminum because it was too annoying to get the powder.
Right.
So I kind of quit.
I remember when they were like when I was 16 and they were trying to explain electrolysis to me, and I was like, I don't get it.
So this is like the big thing about which I think going back to what you asked about like the channel and not really what started
I
it,
did ask about
but like
that.
the mentality of it was I never cared what electrolysis was
I need to do something
or how it worked. It's this is how I get what I want.
Yeah.
Like it was just a tool. It's kind of like if you have a nail and you need it to be like hammered into something. I don't care what a hammer really is, but if it works, that's what I'll use.
Right.
And like that's kind of what I still do with chemistry now.
Right.
Like I view the like I'm much more interested in like what it can do for me than like the actual process itself.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just
Like,
want
that's
the
what-
final product. You just
It's not that I'm not innately like super deeply fascinated by.
It's not about the journey, it's about the destination.
No, it is kind of both. I'm trying to like explain this because like when you go into chemistry, there's people who are like very fascinated by like they'll be like, oh, like the electrons move like this, like that's so fascinating, and I'm kind of like, it is cool, but to me it's only cool because
get
they
to
move
make
like that, and then this is the result.
Right.
So you end up learning a lot purely out of practical implementation of all
Yeah.
the techniques. That's interesting.
This episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
How do you think big tech companies like Twitter make all their money?
By mining salt.
Elon Musk? Yes, but no. It's by tracking your searches, your video history, and everything you click on, and then selling your personal data. No way.
ExpressVPN helps you anonymize much of your online presence by hiding your IP address, a unique identifier that every device has that allows big tech companies to match your activity back to you.
That's why we use ExpressVPN here at Trash Taste on all of our devices to make it much more difficult for them to exploit our data for their own profits.
And the best part is how easy the ExpressVPN app is to use. All you have to do is just tap one button on your phone or computer and bam, that's all you need to do.
If you don't like big tech tracking you and selling your personal data for profit, it's time to fight back. Visit expressvpn.com/trashtaste right now to get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. That's expressvpn.com/trashtaste, expressvpn.com/trashtaste. Back to the episode.
Unbelievable.
I always wondered, right? Not to get sidetracked. We can go back into the story.
I mean, it,
This entire thing
Yeah,
is been a whole cycle right now.
I've been like, I always wondered if, because I don't think any of us understand the world of chemistry.
Yeah.
And I think when you're watching it, it's hard to gauge. I'm like, am I watching someone who is extremely knowledgeable and an expert at what they're doing? Or am I watching a guy who is just winging it and also just seems really good? Like, I don't, like,
is this a call out?
no, I'm asking, like, if I would have, like, on the level of like chemistry professionals, where would you place, like, where would you sit? Like, because like I don't know, like, because it's completely out of my depth,
Yeah, it
and
all
I'm like,
looks insane to us.
it's so absurd to me. Where I'm like, this dude could tell me he is like one of the most knowledgeable chemistry people of all time, and I'd be like, yeah, I believe it.
I should totally make that claim. No. So what's kind of interesting is I remember, I mean, to jump ahead, like I started doing all the chem stuff after I finished a biochem degree and I was a lab tech. Then I ended up being a chemistry master's student.
Okay.
And that's when I started pushing the envelope of like things that I felt were quote unquote like safe.
Okay.
I say like, it's like I felt safe doing them.
Yeah.
But like I started just, I guess like having more confidence in myself, but I would ask my lab mates for help, being like, oh, what do you know about this chemical?
Yeah.
And it's when I start to realize that like most people don't know like a broad range of chemistry.
Yeah.
They're very like
Specialized.
the moment you get into grad school, you start doing like projects that are in a certain realm. But when I'd ask the person, well, how do you distill and purify sulfuric acid? And they're like, I don't, I buy it. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, well, how do you work with bromine? And they're like, I've never worked with it before. And in chemistry, there's a lot of like, I call them like boogeyman chemicals because people will never work with it, but they just hear from a friend of a friend that it's really scary.
Yeah.
So when I was in one of the labs, they kept saying bromine, if you like go near it, it does this and this. If you get it on your skin, you lose, like, it was like so hyped up, but everyone,
Yo, new bromine drop.
but everyone's just so fearful that like I'm fearful wanting to make it, but nobody can help you because no one's ever made it.
Right.
And almost nobody's worked, like a lot of people haven't worked.
Like, I want to enrich uranium. No reason why. Just wondering, does anyone know how to do it?
But like the reason I'm saying this is that I start to realize that most people don't have like they know a lot about one topic. They don't have a huge range of
Broad
chemistry.
topic. Yeah.
So it's like, so what I realized that my skill was not being great at one thing.
Right,
it was being like mediocre at a lot of stuff.
So like you're not going to make any breakthroughs, but you have a very good understanding of the general.
I guess
a lot of
like
the
any
fields.
breakthrough, because there were some things like, for example, like when I was looking on making like, I say like aerogel, superconductors, there's people probably out there who know how to do it properly, but the info is not publicly available.
Oh, so you made
And
it more public.
so it's like I have to come up with a method. And it's like, for example, one thing I did was ferrofluid. There's no recipe on the internet. Like there was not a single recipe or tutorial on how to make it. So like I was super proud when I came up with something that was literally the only method on the internet.
Do you ever get like a lot of people like emailing you or telling you
Ferrofluid's like everyone, but I also tell them
I made it.
It's one of the most finicky things ever. Like I've tried to make it like 8 times and it fails like 7 out of 8 times and I don't even know why. But it's like, your question was like, am I really good? I think I just built a confidence of knowing like how to see something new and then navigate it safely.
I think it's also you have the confidence to actually try it out physically, right? Whereas, like as you were saying, like a lot of other chemists would just be too scared to even try it.
Yes, and the big problem is since you can't get there. You have to find the people who work with it specifically to get help,
right?
Because the average chemist can't help you. So like even recently, one thing I worked with was hydrofluoric acid, which is like, and like a lot of these chemicals that I would work with the first time, it's like legitimately you don't see it in the videos, but it's like I would be like shaky for certain things because not only am I working with it, I have to film. So it's sometimes like weird, awkward positions. And I have to do things quickly. But if I spill it on me, it's really bad.
Right.
So it's like, not only am I working with the chemical, I like practice a little bit.
But you gotta get the shot.
But I'm not so familiar that I'm super comfortable.
and it's terrifying.
And with hydrofluoric, I'd ask some people who work with it and they would give you tips, but it's like,
What kind of tips?
Don't.
well, you know what you're supposed to do. Don't get it on you.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's all the protocols of like wearing gloves, you wear like a face shield, but it's still like nerve wracking because you've never worked with it before.
Yeah.
And you kind of just have to, I think even if you're in the lab, like we trained some people when I was there with chemicals that we would say they're dangerous. You can't get it on you. And like this people would be like shaky, but we would have to be like, that's just part of it. Like you have to get used to working with, it wasn't too crazy, but it's like when you come from working in labs where it's like all like more or less just like completely safe stuff. But the other one is like, you just like you don't want to breathe it in. So you have to be careful. You're not going to die if you get it on you. Like the stakes weren't that high.
Yeah.
But it won't be a fun time.
But you obviously probably be fine, but it's like just because you've never worked with it before, you're like really afraid of spilling it. So it's like, and you're trying to like use like a glass pipette and it's like maybe put it in a tube. So you have to be pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And then when you see yourself shaking, that makes you more scared because you're like now thinking you're going to spill it.
Yeah.
So you have to like, I find that was a lot of like just building a confidence that I'm like, okay, I've tried a lot of stuff. And
do you ever worry that you make it look too easy? That it makes it
that's actually never occurred to me.
Really? Like that you make it look like, oh, this chemical's really easy to work with.
So it's actually a very good question because that's what, like, not that fear directly of like whether I think it makes it too easy, but I feel like I make chemistry look like it's not
fun.
No, not like I won't say like fake,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like the movie version.
You cut out all the
chemistry.
fuck ups and
Yeah.
there's it's all clean.
It's not even that. Like people don't know when I plan my procedures, like I plan beaker swaps and how it's going to appear in the camera. So it's like I won't fumble with things. So like I will if I have to take a beaker out right away, I will pour with my left hand and then move with my right. Or I'll plan like the movements of my hands.
wow.
And so it's like if I have to like switch beakers and stuff, I also plan how I'm gonna pour it, how I'm gonna add stuff, so it looks very clean. But like actual chemistry is insanely messy. Like when I'm off camera doing tests, there's just dirty beakers everywhere. Like things, sometimes I spill things and they fall over. But because I plan it so much, like let's say there's something here.
Yeah.
I plan the direction that I'm gonna reach in, and I even practice how I'm gonna reach, so I don't spill anything, so I don't knock stuff. Like if I'm pouring something, I think it's going to be difficult. I practice like 3 times before I pour
Yeah, because
it.
in your videos, you make it look very natural.
I
Very, very smooth. Very, very.
Like,
That's why I say it looks kind of like it's like the movie version because I've practiced. And some of them, if I do screw up, I will redo the same thing like 7 times until it looks smooth.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, I always wondered if you maybe gave some people false confidence in handling some of these chemicals. With
It's
how
like, damn,
easy,
he made that look very easy.
yeah, with how easy you make it look.
Bringing up liabilities. I should.
No,
I should get more insurance.
No, it's like watching a stuntman jump off a thing and then roll. You're like, oh, it's so easy. I can do that. And then you do it and you fuck it up and you snap your neck.
break your
It's not your fault that you are professional at handling it. It's like, I always just wondered if there's ever that element to it where you're like, fuck, I gotta make sure everyone knows this is fucking dangerous.
Yeah, I try to like slip it in.
Look, so I know I've watched like the Bromium video, the ones that you've done with it, and it looks fucking terrifying. It looks like an Elden Ring fucking smog appearing. It's terrifying.
You do get used to working with bromine though. Like that's the one thing. Like after a while,
You get used to it.
well, I'm saying I remember the first time I made it, like I was so terrified.
Yeah.
But then now it's just like because you know what it's capable of.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I have
tamed it.
I might have spilled it on me before.
You're my what?
Like a splash on me, and then the thing is when you work, these are things you don't like and they don't talk about. Like when you work with it, you have a bottle of something. Like that's not an antidote, but it's like it will neutralize it.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like when you work with it, you have to have that.
And so if it gets on you,
So if you get it on you, you just like I would just be and you spray it, and it disappears instantly.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So it's like
damn, this whole time I was working with Bromium without it.
You're still like very careful.
No, of course,
So
of
it's
course.
like you wear all the gloves,
Why
and
take the
if I
risk?
think it gets on my glove, you immediately take the glove off. Like
Yeah,
I still
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want like.
Yeah.
You
don't wanna,
don't want to risk it, obviously.
But you don't want to burn or anything.
Oh, of course.
I actually have a scar here
Are you serious?
From what?
What's that from?
from acid,
Oh my god.
but that wasn't from filming my own videos.
What was it?
It was actually for filming for Will.
Oh my god.
I was filming, or I don't remember. I think I was filming.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was filming. Something was happening, and acid spilled on me, but I didn't want to ruin the shot. So I just I let it go until the shot was done.
He's just holding the camera. Just,
Why was acid being sprayed?
You are just like a YouTuber through and through. You
Yeah.
know, like I feel like there are a few jobs.
anything for the shot.
Yeah. I feel that there are a few jobs that can really.
And that video was never posted.
Damn.
Yeah, I feel like there are a few jobs that can cater not only to your expertise, but also your mentality when it comes to danger and all of the ideas that you want to do, aside from being a YouTuber.
I feel like getting the shot. Like I've burned myself before and everything, just to make sure. If the shot's nice, then you'll.
Wait, say that again?
Well, I mean, I said
burned?
I've gotten burns like.
Okay.
Because like.
I thought you meant like self-inflicted.
Yeah, I was like, I burned myself just to make sure that I know how to handle it.
like, this looks sick.
No, just like.
How can you know if fire is dangerous if you've never burned yourself? So
No, I don't mean just self-inflicted for no reason.
You know, the first video I ever saw of yours was, and this is before I ever started watching your stuff a lot. I remember it just popped up my recommended, and I watched it, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
It was one where you bought like anal lube.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that.
Because did that blow up like back in the day? Because how old is this video?
Oh, that was one of the first early ones.
I remember I saw this. You're like, I bought this brand new anal lube, never used, and it was like.
Funny is I don't think that was a joke.
No, I know, but it sounded like methinks he protests too much. You know.
It was. I remember, like I remember doing it.
Yeah.
But
What were you making with the anal lube again?
I was getting the local anesthetic out of it.
yeah.
So what was funny though is like at the time,
What year was this?
that must have been 2015 or something.
Yeah, this is like I remember I watched this when I was like
Like that.
I
long
have
ago?
I was still in like fucking like school.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that you used. you were aware of those videos. Back
I
then.
didn't. So I watched that one. Never watched you again for like 5 years because it was like I just watched this one video randomly.
And you're like, it's the anal lube guy.
And then I remember I was recently watched back and I'm like, holy shit, this is the same voice as the anal lube dude.
So wait, explain the anal lube thing.
So in the video, I said like, now I got this anal lube, like brand new, sealed, never been opened. And like, I was
Phrase it like that.
It's too good.
It sounds so sarcastic.
It was so funny.
But what happened was, it was weird because like watching that really in my head
Yeah.
made me realize how different my content is now.
Yeah.
Because my videos back then,
Yeah.
I would just drag and drop the videos into the editor.
Right.
I'd pick up a mic and I would just say stuff. I don't even think I ever really said the line twice.
Right.
I just narrated what I saw.
Yeah.
Right.
And I sometimes didn't even rewatch. I for the first like, I would say probably 3 years of my channel,
Yeah.
I never rewatched a video.
That's
Really?
wild.
Yeah.
I, to this day, do not even understand how they're coherent. Because I would literally just say stuff as I saw the clips.
Right.
Right.
Render, upload. And so like, but I remember with the anal loop part, I think it was an actual concern of mine that people, the comments would be like, oh, I bet this is his.
Yeah.
So I think I was actually defending myself.
But it ended up
Which
making
just
it-
makes it look worse.
But, because
Because you're just doubling down at that point, right?
but it was like not like a joke when I did it.
Right, I know, but it
right,
makes
right.
it sound like you.
But like rewatching this, it was absurd to me. I'm like, why did I say this not sarcastically? Like I was genuinely defending myself.
It's good. It's good. I'm sorry to bring that up. Does everyone bring that up?
No, what's funny is that like that's one of the ones that is brought up a lot, and
right.
even more recently, people
sorry.
shared like a screenshot. It was another guy on YouTube. He was like complaining about YouTube recommendations, and he specifically referenced. He's like, "What have I done to deserve this recommendation?" He's like, "No offense to the creator, but seriously, YouTube." And I was like, "Okay." And even like, I took a photo of it. I was walking through. Oh no, maybe it was actually. Sorry, it was a different video.
Okay.
Because I was walking through Best Buy,
Yeah, right.
and I saw on the random computer that one of my videos was recommended. This was like in 2019, and I was like super proud.
Yeah.
But I remember now it was not the anal. I thought it was, but
Which one was it?
It was like making like a sedative or something.
okay.
Right.
Not as fun. Not as fun as
No,
Emily.
for a second, in my head, I thought it was the anal lube one, which would have been funny. Recommended at Best Buy.
I just wonder what would happen if one day like the police raid your home and like they bring out all the evidence of what
Like
they found.
you have to be on a watch list, right?
Yeah, so we found an anal lube, 2 crates of firecrackers, and battery acid and
Buckets
bromine.
of bromine.
if I'm a dictator, you're on my list of like, I like watch this guy. Like, just keep an eye. Like, don't do anything weird. Just see what he's ordering on Amazon. Just have a look.
I think that like, I mean,
Your Amazon order list must be insane.
so the Amazon stuff is fine. I mean, there was a heyday on eBay that was like I kind of miss.
Right.
Well,
There was-
what's this heyday?
Well, where you could just buy
So
weird
there was a
shit.
period in time where you couldn't get any of those chemicals. So
Yeah.
like that's why I was trying to make all of them.
Okay.
But then there was this time where everything was available on eBay, like stuff that was like nobody should be selling.
Yeah.
Like what?
Some of them were like literally just straight up listed as like felon. Like I don't exactly remember which chemicals.
Yeah.
But it's like I think one of them's like I forget. No, it's not ethanol. I think it's ethanolamine.
Right.
Or something. One of them's just made to make like used to make mustard gas. So it's like they're not really like you can't.
And eBay was like, "Oh,
it's a
buy one get one free."
crime to, like they're very heavily controlled.
Right.
I think importing it is just like you can't do it.
Yeah,
you can,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can actually weird enough you can manufacture up to like a kilo. I think without a license, but you just can't export it or import it.
Does that happen with a lot of chemicals? You can make your own, but you can't.
There's a surprising a lot about like I give not to go off on a huge tangent,
Yeah.
but like when I was making uranium glass, I really want to be careful.
That's such a good sentence. When I was making uranium,
No, glass.
Okay.
So I got some uranium.
Okay.
Just casually. Like,
Okay, that has to put you on a list.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe you can buy uranium
No,
and
so-
not go on a list.
So listen, so I got some uranium
yeah.
Okay.
Where?
From where?
through undisclosed sources. No, you can buy it. Like, I mean, you can buy in the US, you can buy uranium. And they'll just ship it to you. I actually don't remember where I got mine from.
Like,
You don't remember where you got uranium from? Uranium.
and like, you know, like, you know,
don't remember where you got uranium from.
you know how YouTubers just have packages.
Written in Russian, I don't know.
YouTubers just get fan packages. You're like, oh, another fan box of uranium. Fucking cringe.
I mean, that
dude.
could have been where it came
Oh
from.
my
I don't
god!
know.
Do fans send you chemicals?
No, I don't really get anything. I have a PO box, but I always forget to tell people that it even exists.
Right.
It's been 3 years, and I think I've gotten
probably a
one.
good thing.
It's just anal lube. It's just,
But for the
Okay, so you get
uranium,
any- yeah, okay.
I was very concerned. Like for a lot of my videos, I find that I get hyped about it, and then like right when the video's done or about to be done, I start to get concerned about the legal implications. So like the uranium glass one,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was like, it's cool, you make uranium glass, but then when it was done, I'm like, is it legal to work
Wait.
with
So,
uranium?
what's the difference between uranium glass and regular glass?
It just glows under like a black light. It just glows.
Because
Oh, so it's like glow in the dark
does it have like
glow.
uranium
glow
in
the
it?
dark.
It has
Yeah, but like a very small amount.
Because uranium glows under UV, right?
Yeah, so it's like some forms of uranium
Yeah.
glow.
It's radioactive. Yeah.
So,
But it's nothing to do with the radiation.
Oh, really?
So this is the point. Like I called the government, and I was like, I had to call like.
It's on speed dial.
No, it was a lot of work to find the right number.
Yeah.
Right.
And I called them and was like, is it legal? At the time, I was like, hypothetically, if I wanted to work with uranium.
So I got
funny.
a friend who's procured some
yeah.
uranium.
I was like, if I wanted to make glass, like what's the legal implications? And I was like, honestly appalled with what they told me.
Yeah.
The guy said almost all of the laws are related to if you're using radioactive material
Yeah.
for its radioactive properties. But the
Right.
glow in the dark, it's not glow in the dark, like fluorescent property of uranium glass is a property of like the uranium, not the radioactive part. So there's nothing.
Well, yeah, because
to
they
really-
used to make dials, right? Uranium.
So that would be controlled. You can't do that. Like,
Oh, really? You can't?
That's radium, which is even worse. It's a million times more radioactive.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
because-
the thing in watches, right?
Yeah.
and they used to have it on World War II planes, right? For night.
The paint is like,
Yeah.
you don't want to, but so if you did that, because the radiation is directly related to why it glows, like you'll get slapped with all these regulations.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
because the uranium has nothing to do with the UV under a black light glowing, he goes, there's technically no law.
because no one would be. Who is buying uranium and doing this, right? Because no one would do it.
He goes, because the other one is like for like nuclear power and all this stuff. He's like, they have laws for waste management and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, but for like hobbyists making glass, he's like, so I asked him, like, what do I do with the waste that I made? I'm like,
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
like
yeah.
papers that are contaminated with uranium. I have like other stuff. And he told me, he goes, honestly, if I'm going to tell you by the law, you can just throw it in the garbage. He goes, is it less than a kilo, I think? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's like maybe 50 grams. He goes, legally, you can just throw it out in the regular garbage. And I was like, and he goes, but we strongly prefer if you don't.
I'm not going to make you. I'm not going to make you say what you did.
yeah.
I'm gonna-
No, I saved it all.
Oh, you saved it? Oh, okay.
I just saved it because I have like a little, and you put it in like, I have a little like cabinet for it. But he's just like, we strongly prefer you don't.
radioactive shit.
And I was just like, that's very sketchy.
Yeah, I'm sure he would probably have been quite worried. So I was going to ask, like, either that or like you must have some lawyer who is absolutely sick of you, who you're like, hey,
Oh, we've never talked like to a lawyer.
you don't have a lawyer.
anything, no.
I feel like you should have a lawyer out of any
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Forget like, do you have insurance?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, good.
Okay, good.
Your insurance bill must
Maybe
be
I
insane.
need more after.
You're like calling up like Geico, like, so uranium poisoning, right?
Yeah.
It was really hard to get insurance.
Yeah, I can imagine. Fucking hell.
What are you insured against? Like,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. What are you insured?
Like
against?
Liabilities.
Liabilities.
What are you listed as?
Yeah.
Like, are you educational? Like, what is it?
It was really hard to like register as a business.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
it must be hard, but obviously you have to do it because you can't be doing this stuff for fun and publishing it and making money, right? I wish I guess you could.
I mean, what's actually, so going back even further, like when I was, the most sketchy period in time was when I did everything at my parents' house. The chemicals were just stored in the room, and it was like it was pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
And there, let me say, there was one time a bottle. I've already gone too far. I have to
Okay.
say, I made something called forgetting the name now, benzyl chloride.
I think I've heard about this in your videos.
It was like a vague. It used to be used as a tear gas. I think it was used in one of the world wars. I don't remember. Or they didn't actually make it. It's just like a tear gas and it just irritates your eyes. And the
I'm just not
bottle
surprised
corroded
anymore.
and leaked. into the room with all the chemicals. But that room is nobody goes in it except my dad goes in there to play guitar. And for like we didn't
Dad,
understand.
why are you crying?
No, we didn't. The big thing about it is it feels like very, very mild onions.
Right,
So
right,
it's
right.
like there were we couldn't figure out what it was. Like we kept searching. You don't breathing wise, you don't notice anything.
Yeah.
But it would be after you're in the room for like maybe an hour, you would just start to get like irritated. But the thing is that it would last for like hours.
Oh,
So like
shit.
my dad and I for like a week or two would go to bed. I remember just like tears pouring out of my eyes, and we just didn't know what it was.
Oh my God.
Who are these ninjas chopping onions, bro?
But that was one of the big times. I'm like, I have to just like this is like
Time
bad.
for
Because right now you
Yeah.
have, do you have your own lab, right?
Yeah, and like everything is like up to code.
That's crazy.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm
I also,
That must have-
I also don't store any chemicals that like could potentially leak and
Yeah.
cause any
Yeah,
problems.
yeah,
Like I don't
yeah.
like keeping those.
Was that like a process then, getting your own place and getting it all
So-
sorted?
Kind of why I mentioned this. When I first started my parents' house, I emailed the government and was like, how do I get like a permit to, I want to be able to
Yeah.
order chemicals. And their answer was kind of like,
Just down.
it doesn't give you anything. Like getting certified as a lab is just bad.
right.
Because they're like, what it allows you to do is basically have people work there. Like it's like you get a bunch of other like abilities that make sense in certain businesses. But if you're just doing hobby chemistry,
There's no point.
they said they kind of view, what's the difference between you being like a painter and you
Right,
buy a bunch of it,
right.
you want to make your own paints? Like what's that different than what I'm doing? Mixing solvents, doing a bunch. I'm just saying like,
I get it. I get your point.
so there's, it's
I
very
think
hard.
A few reasons.
I'm
but-
saying it's very hard to like make laws against.
Right.
So there's actually, I remember,
Yeah.
I remember talking to a chemical distributor, and I mentioned a chemical license, and he freaked out at me a little bit. He didn't freak out. He just kind of like went, "What are you talking about, chemical license?" And I'm like, he goes, "You know that doesn't exist." And you can, because the license you get is with individual, at least in Canada, individual chemical companies, and it's up to their discretion to sell to you.
Oh.
And if it's not on a list of like prohibited chemicals that
Yeah.
like it's like a drug,
Yeah.
it's just up to their it's liability whether they want to sell it to you or not.
So
Like there's no, if I buy some chemical that's kind of sketchy like bromine,
Yeah.
there's no permit that allows you to own it.
okay, I
Do
have
you
two-
think there should be?
No, because only the chemical companies have like a strong grip
Right.
on who can buy
right.
stuff.
I mean, it's so heavily regulated
And they
that
will
even
only sell to like established businesses.
All right, I've been hyped up about bromine for the
God.
past hour.
Yeah.
What the fuck is bromine used for,
Yeah,
Nigel?
I
I gotta
need-
know.
I need to know
I need to know.
So you want to know what bromine's used for besides having fun?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Not much.
Really?
No, it's. I think it's cool because
That was the most obvious. I think it's cool.
Uranium is kind of hype. It's kind of in right now.
no, so it's like it's similar to chlorine. So if you smell bromine, it's like a weird chlorine.
Oh, does it disinfect things?
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
so
oh.
in some like
heard
it's
about
common in
this.
hot tubs. They'll
Yes,
use, like,
right. I've
bromine.
heard about this.
And even some pools use bromine. But I feel like it's more common in spas. For whatever I see, the products that like spa products.
Is
are
it cheaper
bromine.
than chlorine?
I know they kind of, I think they've phased it out. It was banned in Canada or Quebec because I think bromine is toxic slightly.
Okay.
Like compared to chlorine. I think there's like some toxicity issue compared to chlorine. So they're
Okay.
trying to phase it out of pools.
Yeah.
And I think they stopped selling them as pool products.
Oh.
But if you look at the periodic table, which I'm sure you're very familiar
No,
with.
I'm familiar with the periodic table.
No, like I'm saying this as a joke because
Okay.
like, people who in chem aren't familiar, and I barely look at it myself.
I have an engineering degree, but I don't do any. Yeah.
I think it's like a meme that like chemists look at the periodic table all the time.
okay.
But it's kind of like I look at it when I need to, and
Yeah.
I don't remember half of it.
Are you saying
Right,
you
right.
don't have a poster of the periodic table
I
in
do.
your room?
I do.
Yeah, you have to, right?
It's right above my office. Like,
Right.
Yeah, that has
I
to.
feel like you have to
Every
do, like,
lab has the periodic
But
table
it's
somewhere.
in the new office. It's like you only look at it when you need to. But
Yeah.
either way, it's like if you look at it, bromine's in the family of halogens. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
chlorine, bromine, iodine, and fluorine.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
So it's like it's between. No, I'm in my head. I'm like, oh god, this is all bad.
It looks the same color as iodine, right? Kind of.
No, so as you go down, so fluorine's at the top,
Okay.
and then it's a gas.
Yeah.
You go
Yeah.
down one, and you get to chlorine. Oh god, I don't know. Sweating.
We put on
my
the test
knowledge.
right now.
Yeah, so it's like I'm like, oh no, but you get to chlorine, which is a gas.
Yeah.
yeah.
Then you get to bromine, which is a liquid, and then below that's iodine, which is a solid.
Solid.
Iodine's solid normally?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's normally a solid. Oh, God. In my head, I'm like, oh God, did I get that order wrong?
So-
So it's very similar, but it just looks cool because it's like a black, scary looking liquid.
It does look like an Elden Ring boss is about to spawn out of it in all of your videos.
But it's used in kind of like just specific chemistry reactions.
Right.
It's used in organic synthesis, but it's like not that.
So you're basically giving bromine a use.
You're giving it all the hype.
Yeah, a purpose. You're bringing the bromine hype.
I've used it before to do a chemical reaction.
Right.
It's just not. I think it looks cooler than
Yeah.
what
So
it's
you use it
actually-
on YouTube because it's visually very appealing.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that
just
makes
wanted.
sense.
I
That
made it
makes
first
sense.
because I just wanted to make it.
Yeah.
Like this black scary liquid.
Okay, that's fair enough. Another. Oh, do you want?
Yeah.
Oh no, go for it.
Another question I have is: you say chemicals are restricted, right? Okay. Maybe this is like a bad question to ask, or maybe this is a question where it's like, don't ask that question. Let's say there's a chemical that is very prohibited, but you can buy 2 other scary chemicals that can make the very scary banned chemical. How does that work? Are you like, if you buy the chemical, it's like, you better not make this with it.
Well, if it's in the U.S.,
Yeah.
like what in the case for meth. Oh, they just no,
Okay, why meth? Okay, go.
because meth is like probably one of the most the one thing that people synthesize the most. Like
Right.
people also
Yeah.
synthesize cocaine and like all this other stuff. It's just that meth, for whatever reason, is like the most well known that people
Okay.
make it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Well, I'm just saying like it's the most well known. Like if I were to say like, people make like synthesized cocaine, you're probably like probably. Whereas like it's kind of a meme that people make meth.
Okay. That's a meme.
But it's like what they
Not real.
did was it's kind of for a long time it was like a race between the sketchy chemists and the government.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like at first they're like, okay, meth is illegal. And guys like, hey, well I got the ingredients for meth and these aren't illegal, so I'm just gonna make it. I can buy these and I can make it.
Right.
Then the government goes, okay, those chemicals are illegal.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, well, I have 2 chemicals that can make that chemical.
Right, it's
And
only
they
so
would just,
far.
Right.
so they would just keep going down the chain.
Yeah. Right.
And with meth, it's gone so far. Like it's like you're like sometimes like I think it's like 4 things down the line.
Right.
And then
wow.
you get to the point where it's just like such an obscure chemical that you can only buy it from a chemical company.
Right.
Because it's just like a petrochem, like made in industry.
Right.
There's almost no way for you to just
Make it.
make
Make
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you want to buy it from a chemical company, they will go like, what are you using it for? And they'll write your name down and they'll only let you buy a certain amount.
Right.
But there are still ways around it, of course. Like there's still, I'm saying like the illegal, like the
So funny.
people who are
It's like, not that I would know.
the people who are synthesizing meth.
I mean,
have
obviously, it's
found
still being
other
made.
ways
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
to do it.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
obviously the fact that, people are still making it, they have
Well, and
to be
sometimes
aware.
they just go, it doesn't even matter that like 4 chemicals down it's banned.
Yeah.
They just illegally import either the meth itself
From another country or
or
something.
they just illegally import the one ingredient lower.
One ingredient, right.
And a lot of it's from China. I think China would, not to call them out. I think because they would just, I forget a friend who was involved, like he knew a lot about it. He didn't make any.
That's such a funny sentence.
I know a lot about
Yeah.
cocaine.
Okay, okay,
It's like,
okay.
Not that I make it or
Officer.
Okay, so
I don't
continue.
He would just say that like it was a big thing on like Chinese websites that they would make. I don't know what they would advertise it as stuff like stuff that's very close to drugs,
Right.
but as something else, and then you could buy that. But I honestly don't know too much. About
Is it like the herb grinders? And like
It
that
would-
kind of
yeah.
advertising?
well, so
It's like it's not a bong, it's a water pipe.
Yeah.
well,
it's
like one
it's
thing
that.
that they would sell like designer drugs for a while. So like straight up like almost basically meth.
Oh my
but they
God.
would sell it for like research purposes, and you could just buy it in the U.S. because it wasn't a scheduled drug. I don't know all the
Jeez.
details about this, but they would also sell like the chemicals and stuff. You could find like sources, and like I said, my sketchy days on eBay, I didn't buy anything like that. But there was a guy who's like, "Tell me what you want, I can get you anything."
That's not what you want to hear. That's not what you want
Even
to
the
hear.
stuff that was just listed on eBay shouldn't have been listed there.
Right.
What was like the craziest stuff you saw listed on eBay?
I forget. It was hydrazine.
What's hydrazine?
It's used for like rockets and stuff, but it's like if you see what they use, like if you look up hydrazine,
It just comes out wrong.
no, there's people handling it are in like full body suits because it's a very not pleasant thing to deal with. And
Meanwhile, the FedEx guy's kicking it around.
above a certain percentage, it's like really bad.
Oh,
but
right,
so
okay.
I think it's I don't know if it's a gas or a liquid. It's pretty bad. So you usually sell it as like a 60% or something, high concentration
Right.
in water.
Yeah. Right.
But the guy would just ship it in like an unmarked brown box in like plastic bottles. I never bought it. It's actually a regret. I was like, because I can't.
I wish I did.
I wish I did.
Because it's hard. Like even though I can order chemicals.
Yeah.
I think when I wanted to order hydrazine, I had to go through all these.
Is it
I had to,
legal
like-
in Canada to have the chemical?
Again, there's no laws. But
So
if you
you
try
can
to
own
order
it, but you can't order it.
Yeah.
Well, if you try to order it from a chemical company, they will ask you like a lot of questions.
Right,
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like specifically, like, what are you using this for? And so some things can be a big pain to get.
Have you ever had someone reject you for chemicals where you've been like, hey, I'm just making this, and they're like,
There's one.
no.
I've had one company which they would not let us have an account, and they wouldn't tell us why.
Huh.
And we think it's because they don't want their products to be shown on camera.
But you're not showing the
But
product,
then
you're
it's
showing
like
the
a
chemical.
pseudo endorsement, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
like.
mean, it's not like you're saying, here we have Bromium given by the kind people at Chemical Corp.
They also might not have
Montreal.
liked it because I kind of like.
They saw the anal lube video, maybe?
Yeah.
No, I just every time I used their product in the past, I'd always like
Shout
say
them
it
out?
negatively.
Oh.
I think, and unfortunately, I had to
You
use
would
this
name the
product.
companies?
Yeah. But I only I said it because they're just the big thing is these chemical companies are really expensive.
Oh, I see.
Right.
So it's like to give you an idea, there's one chemical I wanted to buy, like let's say 100 grams. If you buy from them, it's like could be like $200. I bought it on eBay for $8. But they guarantee certain purity. The difference is the eBay one I had to purify myself. But it's like they're worth buying from. They're just very expensive for a lot of things.
This is insane.
So that's what I would complain about.
Okay.
You say like I had to purify myself, like it's just like a thing that you just do.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
in,
like it's just like a simple thing to do, right?
in
like but
chemistry,
to us,
it
it's
is.
just like
I think
Crazy.
Yeah, this
in
is-
chem,
this
it's
is-
like super normal.
This is like
Yeah.
the weirdest rabbit hole I think I've ever gone down.
I think chemists
in this
are
podcast, I'll
the
be honest.
scariest scientists. Like, they're the ones that I am just scared of the most.
Oh no, I believe
Like,
that
they're
after this
just-
conversation.
They're just
you know?
terrifying. Like, I don't, because we just don't know what the fuck you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And then when we
I think
just
it depends
believe you-
what chemistry
Well,
you're
because
doing.
the thing is, like, you look at like the sciences and like with engineers, you can like a normal person can kind of follow along with what an engineer is doing, what he's building, because it's a lot of the times it serves a function.
But you can also like feel it and see what's going
exactly,
on. Like, it's
exactly.
real.
You can
Yeah,
see
that's the
what
problem.
It's doing.
I don't understand what's happening in
Yeah,
chemistry.
yeah. When you name a fucking chemical, I'm just like, does that burn your face off, or does that give you like a light tickle? Like, I have no idea what the fuck you're handling.
That's like the biggest challenge I find going into chem is it's like a game, except there's so much knowledge you need to just get started. Like organic, I think that's like how organic chemistry is.
Right.
It's like it's just a game with the most.
except you need to read
Wait,
the
what is all-
instruction
what
book
is-
and it's permanent.
It's like you have to learn. You have to study for like 3 years just to like
Play it.
start
Yeah.
playing.
Forgive my ignorance. What is organic chemistry as opposed to normal chemistry?
So chemistry in general is split up, I guess, into like 3 major sections.
Okay.
I could be wrong on this, but like my understanding is like inorganic chem, organic chem, and then physical chem.
Okay.
So physical chem is basically physics. It's like the intermediary between like chemistry.
Right, because chemistry is a lot of physics is a lot of chemistry.
Yeah.
in a way.
Well, so it's like the moment you start doing stuff that requires, I say physics. So it's like you can have some chemical reactions require lasers. So it's like it would be all of like the people who are doing laser stuff are usually the phys chemists,
Okay.
and they do a lot of. Actually, I don't even know too much about phys chem. Just I know that when you're inorganic chem, which is what I did,
Yeah.
you always just say that phys chem's boring and you feel bad for everyone who's in it, but I don't actually really know. Just because you take a
I don't
few.
understand it. Must
Well, you take a few phys chem classes. It's all thermodynamics.
Okay.
You're doing a lot of
yeah,
like
right,
heat,
right.
like just calculations.
So what's the difference between chemistry and organic chemistry then?
So the organic and inorganic is basically the difference between carbon and non-carbon.
Oh, okay.
And there is like a crossover,
Right.
But like organic just in chemistry is just carbon based. So any chemistry involving like the breaking or modification or building of carbon bonds or carbon bonding
literally
anything
anything carbon.
related to carbon is organic.
And is that a lot of things? Most things?
It's a lot, but the thing is that like any chemistry you do with like nitrogen or metals, so like iron, copper. So if you take acid and pour it on copper, that's inorganic chem because there's no carbon involved. So like people generally, they'll branch off into the two. Usually like people go like, I do inorganic chemistry primarily or organic, but there is a crossover where people do like a lot of catalysts are inorganic. So people like, that's the lab that I was in when I was doing my grad studies. It was kind of even weirder too, because it was like, it's inorganic things in organic molecules. So it's like a very big crossover, and then you catalyze organic reactions. But a lot of catalysts like copper metal, just copper metal you can use to catalyze
Yeah, I remember
organic
catalysts.
reactions.
Right.
So it's like there is a bit of crossover between the two.
Oh god, you give me like PTSD from chemistry, A level.
But a lot of people who spec out in organic chem will then know you get very much into organic chem.
Yeah.
And then you know enough about inorganic if
But
your
not
thing
enough.
requires it, but it's a very different chemistry.
Okay.
And then the people who know all about the inorganic stuff will then be much fuzzier about the carbon-based stuff.
So how did you get into like chemistry at school? Like presumably after the blowtorch?
I mean, at this point, it just feels like natural, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously very
Natural
knowledgeable now, but like,
progression,
how did it go from being a crazy kid in the backyard to getting a formal education?
Yeah, because you said you wanted to go
getting
into
a lab?
veterinary, right?
Yeah,
So like, how did it go from veterinary to just doing the chem stuff?
So I'll pick up where we left off.
Sure.
After I was making flash powder, I quit. I never made it. I don't know why. I think it coincided at some point with like a fear of firecrackers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to blow my fingers off. So I just, and since then I don't like explosives. Like I just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
But I really want to make thermite.
Why?
Okay.
Which, do you know what thermite is?
It's the shit that burns like ridiculously hot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like aluminum and iron oxide.
Yeah.
So I
I
really
know
got
it's
into
dangerous.
So I really got into like making the rust
Okay.
to make it, and then trying to make aluminum powder. I think it kind of worked once. I've actually never set off thermite.
Huh.
I just kind of had no success in that realm.
Okay.
But I guess I've always like just had like a lot of I always say the projects I really liked just happened to be chemistry.
Right.
So when you went to school and they were trying to teach you all this boring shit, were you like, oh, that's easy. I did that like when I was 2.
No, so like around that time, I was doing chemistry in high school, and I got like 65. I thought I was going to fail the class. And I remember being really scared because I'm like, I won't get into the science program in my, it's CEGEP. It's basically like, it's in just before university.
Right.
Yeah, we have something called sixth form.
Sixth form,
Okay,
yeah. Sixth
so it's
form
probably
college.
kind of
2 years, right?
Yeah, it's 2
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
So I just was like, I didn't really care about the theory.
Yeah.
So I didn't really study. I just didn't really understand or care.
Right.
Well, you're not blowing anything up, right? You're not dissolving anything. Why would you care?
I'm not in any immediate danger, so why should I care?
I don't know. I don't remember having any like strong thoughts about it.
Yeah.
I just kind of always. But my dad has a background in science, so growing up I was always like, I'm a science guy, so I just should do well in this. Like I didn't think too much.
Yeah.
And then going into CEGEP, I didn't do well in chemistry. It was actually my worst science subject. I
Right.
kind of hated it. I just didn't care.
Like too much theory, I guess.
But I got to do organic chem.
Right.
And I don't know why. It's like, it's why I described it as like a game. It's very much like once you know the rules, I liked in my head, like picturing how the molecules would move around and like how to build things. That's what I liked about organic.
Yeah.
And like solving the problem to me was satisfying.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I just liked the idea of organic chemistry. And I like the idea that you could like have things and you could build other things out of it with your knowledge.
Right.
I just thought it was cool. So I thought learning about different reactions was just interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
But up until then, I still hadn't done like any real chemistry until university.
What constitutes as real?
I would say I did nothing.
Okay,
Straight
okay.
nothing. I really wanted to do like filmmaking stuff. Like it had nothing to do with.
Well, now you
chemistry.
combine the two.
Well, that's
exactly.
actually so. It is related. So I got obsessed. I think it was in like 2012. I got obsessed with spicy food, and I really wanted to extract pure capsaicin from peppers because I was just like, I want to taste.
That
it.
explains the interaction we had in LA.
Yeah, we should say how we met you. Yeah, so we had a little get together at our Airbnb, and then Nigel turns up, and whips out a vial of pure capsaicin. He's like, hey, you want to try some? And so he pulls out a needle and gets it out.
Unsharp needle.
What?
Unsharp needle.
What does that mean?
Safety.
I have this great footage of Nigel preparing it all. Like we're putting on the gloves.
I
It
could
just
hear the
looks like a scene
boom.
out of Breaking
Yeah,
Bad. It's
boom,
crazy.
boom.
Yeah.
I remember just like having a drink, chilling outside, just like having a nice little chat. I come in and fucking Nigel's got a needle out and putting shit on a vial and
The
some
way
shit.
it sounds like some horror story.
was.
It was.
Describing-
It looked like a horror.
I was like, yo, what kind of fucking drugs are we shooting up at this party? What? I know we're in LA, but come on, guys, come on. Turns out it was
Yeah,
just like
and
pure capsaicin, which I don't know if I don't know if it would be less insane if you guys were just doing drugs, because at least it would make sense.
But
Like,
he was wearing gloves as well. So it just was like even more
Because
concerning.
when I first this is like kind of relevant. Whatever. I'll just go back to say what I said.
Go.
I was just obsessed with spicy stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I went through a phase. I'm like, if it's not spicy, I don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I wanted to taste pure capsaicin. I don't know why. So what? I started just like trying to extract it, but I was too poor to afford gloves. So I would do everything without gloves.
Oh my God.
And I'd be like pouring solvents, and so like my hands
You
just
could get these solvents, but you couldn't get a fucking pair of
it's like
gloves.
acetone from like the hardware store. The
I think gloves are cheaper than acetone.
they were like $20 a box or something at the time, like $15 a box. I think I had negative money in my bank account.
Okay.
The solvents were like my dad's garage solvents.
Okay.
So I would get it all over my hands all the time, and I would touch my face. So I got like that's why I told you I got super used to just like capsaicin
Oh my God.
burning. But again, that was another like science project that I didn't really care that it was like it's kind of heavily chemistry.
Yeah.
But
you
I
didn't
just
give a shit. You just wanted
I just
pure
wanted
capsaicin.
pure cap. So I'm like reading all these forums on how to like do extractions and like chromatography and like all this stuff. I'm like, I just want pure capsaicin.
Right.
At the
Christ.
time I didn't succeed. I think it was about 50% what I had.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Did it taste?
It was spicy, that
was-
stuff you gave me.
Well,
Yeah, that was pure. That was pure.
pure capsaicin.
pure-
Of course, it's spicy.
pretty spicy.
The old stuff that I made was like
Well, I only had like a droplet.
Yeah.
And it was pretty spicy.
Well, of
it
course
wasn't
it
like,
would
it wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be.
because I gave you guys like I didn't know how you guys handle it, and it's like if I gave you could get an amount that looks like nothing, but it like the next 30 minutes, depending on how you handle spice, like
Yeah.
you might think it's gonna ruin your entire night.
I handled spice pretty well, and I'd say it was definitely spicy, but it wasn't like
I
the amount
tasted
you
the
have,
amount
though,
that I
right?
gave people,
Yeah.
and I was like, if you're good with spice, you'd be fine.
yeah,
Well,
I'd say that.
the real test is if Joey ever does it, which
he's not gonna do it.
well, he'll end up in the hospital probably.
I mean, I've gotten better at spice.
You have gotten better, you have gotten
I,
better, you're
I used to
right.
be like zero tolerance when it
Yeah.
comes to spice, but like, you know, this year I had a ghost pepper for the first time.
I would say that's worse. It all is the dose, right?
Yeah, Right.
So
yeah.
it's just like I find actual fresh peppers, like
Yeah.
really spicy peppers, are probably
Yeah.
worse than what you'd have with capsaicin. Because
Right.
even though it's really concentrated,
Yeah.
it doesn't really spread around your mouth.
Right. The pepper
Whereas
goes
it's
everywhere.
so like honestly, like those spicy wing challenges are like worse. All your lips are burning.
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's so, and then you're hiccuping, and like the next day your stomach just hurts.
Yeah.
Whereas like you don't get that
I've
if
been
you
there.
have like capsaicin. There's so little it doesn't even irritate your stomach.
Although you say that, but I remember specifically when you were giving a little bit of the pure capsaicin
I
to
was-
Connor, you were just like, "Don't swallow it."
Because I
You were
don't
freaking
know
me
how-
out. You were freaking me out. Because you were like, don't swallow. Don't swallow.
I've given it to some people, and it's like they panic.
yeah.
So I was trying to be like, I'm not going to give you a lot. Like, if you don't like it, don't panic. Just spit it
How
out.
often are you whipping this out and giving it to people?
When back in the day when I was like doing it at home, like when I extracted it myself, it was like anyone who would.
Actually,
You're a
I
menace.
haven't asked the,
And I was
You're a
less
fucking
ethical.
menace.
I was
Yeah.
less
You're a
ethical.
menace.
I haven't asked the important question. Why did you have a vial of capsaicin just
Yeah, that day.
just in your bag? And what else do you have in your bag that you carry around?
There's a reason, because like for one of the videos, I was making a spicy compound,
Oh, okay.
and so I brought it a very small amount the last time I was in LA.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just kind of like I didn't bring enough. I didn't like set it up properly, so it was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
So when I came back, I was like, I'm gonna bring spicy stuff again, but it had been like 6 months or 7 months, and I
Right.
didn't have the other stuff anymore, the stuff that I made.
Right.
So then I was just like, I'm just gonna bring.
How does
pure-
like TSA react to stuff like that? When
I guess they
if
didn't see it.
Yeah.
I guess what they don't know can't hurt them, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's not illegal or anything. Like it's
Yeah,
just,
it's just
very-
spice.
Looks- it just, I remember
It just
though,
looks
when you
concerning.
pulled it out of the
To be
bag,
fair, I
looked
put
very
it together
concerning.
as a kit to make it look sketchy.
Did you want it to look sketchy?
I thought it was funny to be
Okay.
fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it also was the only way I could package it.
Yeah.
But it's like
Right.
even the little plastic bag I had, like I purposely, I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Definitely looked like a mad scientist just like whipping this thing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Completely off topic question. Has Breaking Bad done good or bad for chemistry? Has it helped it or has it made it more annoying?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like we're witnessing the origin story of like future Walter White.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, is it like a meme amongst chemists where you talk about Breaking Bad, or is it just like a?
It's kind of a thing where you roll your eyes.
Yeah. Right,
So it's kind of, it's like, I think Breaking Bad was, I don't remember the show enough. I think it was accurate enough in a certain way. But it's like, if you do chemistry, there's a lot of stuff that, I like the show. Like,
Yeah.
I thought the show was good, and you accept everything that comes with TV.
Yeah.
But it's like when other people kind of like, I don't
so
I don't,
realistic, right?
no, I don't know how to describe kind of like the feeling.
Right.
But I guess maybe one thing would be, because like the meth they made was blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, yo, dude, like, could you make super pure meth? And I was like, I mean, in theory, like any competent chemist,
Could make
it's basic techniques. Like what they did in the show were like very basic techniques.
You're like amateurs. Amateurs.
Well, no, like straight up, if you want to know, it's like the most basic technique is recrystallization.
Yeah,
Which is like, if you know the solvent, you literally just dissolve it, you heat it up, dissolve it, and then let it cool down and the crystals come out. And like for meth, not to get
So
into meth
are you
here,
calling
okay?
Walter White? Is Walter White? Does Walter White look like an amateur in the show then?
No, I mean they hyped it up to make him look like, you know, really pro.
super genius.
But like
Yeah.
purifying a lot of these chemicals is like very,
Very basic chemistry.
even like when you mentioned before, you're like, oh, you say purification like it's normal.
Yeah.
In my lab, we didn't trust even the chemicals that were certified by the company.
Right.
Because everything we did was like very like not like, it was very like sensitive to water and air and stuff. So we repurified everything. And it's not uncommon for labs to just purify everything they get.
Just to make sure you have
Just to
the
make
purest
sure.
form. Right.
So it's like all these techniques are like very basic. So it's like when people ask me that, I'd be like, I mean, anyone who's done organic chem, like I would maybe probably grad, even above grad, like just undergrad.
Yeah.
Right.
They could figure it out. Like it's not really that complicated. But I was gonna say is like they go, could you make the meth blue? And I was like, what? So what you want me to do is contaminate it, like because meth is white, like it's clear, like it's gonna be like most pure organic
Right.
compounds are just colorless.
Right.
Yeah.
So to make it blue, you have to put food coloring in it,
Right.
or something. So you're like, can you make it pure? Like make it blue? And I'm like, that's an impurity.
Yeah.
So like it's stuff like it's not annoying, but like it's like this weird hype about
Blue meth.
Is the okay? Another
like
question.
I don't know how to. It's like this. I don't know how to like. I don't know what the proper term is for like people's view of chemistry.
Like it's skewed
is like
or. Yeah.
I really don't know how to describe like the feeling.
Yeah,
or like the
I feel like
idea.
they might have just like simplified it or just.
dumbed it down maybe.
I would say that it's kind of like, this is maybe a bad example, but like when people think of like a surgeon or a doctor,
Yeah.
it's like if you don't know anyone in the medical field, they're just kind of like these gods who just have infinity knowledge.
right.
And people kind of view that about chemistry. And
Most
it's
definitely do.
weird to me about like certain techniques where, like I said, I'm like, you take a cup of like, you just pour acetone.
Yeah.
You heat it up on a plate that gets hot. You add stuff until it stops dissolving. And then you just wait for it to cool down. And then it comes back out and you're like, well, it's more pure now. Like, it's not really, it's not like this crazy like space age thing, but like they would say it to me as though like you could do like this purification. And I'm like, it's not very, I'm not annoyed by it, but it's just like, it's this like,
You're talking you're talking shit.
No,
you are saying things that are just wrong.
I don't really know how to describe it. It's like, it's not a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like on one hand, it's like they're really interested in chemistry, but they're into it in a way that doesn't really represent chemistry.
I have a question
if
that
makes sense. Like, it's not a bad thing.
I want to know but I didn't want to Google it because I feel
I
like
just Google how to make meth all that. Like, I don't care.
I was like, I didn't want to see my history. You know,
I like typed how to make
this
a bomb.
This is like okay, what the fuck? You know, Breaking Bad, right? This is a scene, and it's stuck with me because I'm like, is that true? It's like
You've been waiting for this moment.
I'm like, I need you to know, and I'm sure the people who have watched
Could
this.
have VPN.
Yeah, because our sponsor, if we actually have a VPN sponsor, this would be great. So there's a scene in Breaking Bad, and I've always wondered, is this just bullshit? You know when they want to dissolve the body,
Yeah.
and they have to get a specific type of
That's
acid,
hydrofluoric. Yeah.
right? And they have to get a specific plastic. Is that true?
Yeah. So it's that's one thing. I think I watched a MythBusters thing where they tried to dissolve a body.
They dissolved a pig, I believe.
And it did work.
Yeah, but just not like it did in Breaking
In the movie.
Bad. Yeah,
And it
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
go through the bathtub.
Exactly.
So you could do it in the bathtub normally?
So here's the thing, like
good reference.
hydrofluoric is one of the,
I'm kidding. Okay.
I mentioned the acid before.
Right.
Right.
Because I said it was one of the chemicals I worked with recently that's scary.
Yeah.
You don't work with it commonly. Like fluorine and hydrofluoric acid are just not common.
Could you get enough theoretically to fill a bathtub as well? Like,
It's hard. Like even you could. Like a lot of these acids are industrial acids.
right? Because like in fucking Breaking Bad, he just gets it. You're like, oh, well, I knows how to get
It's-
a vat of acid.
It's definitely like it's one of those things. Like even like cyanide.
Yeah.
As an average person, you're like, I can't like where do you even get cyanide? If you go to like some places that do like for example like gold plating. Cyanide is used in like gold refining and stuff.
Is it really?
They will just have drums of cyanide. That's
insane.
Like dozens of like just like thousands of pounds of cyanide
Yeah.
on pallets and stuff because it's industry. They have
And it's
all these
totally,
chemicals.
and obviously you need it. So obviously when you're buying it, it's not sketch at all.
Yeah, that's why even in Breaking Bad, it's kind of realistic where he's like, I know where to get methylamine, and he like steals it from a company.
Yeah.
Because it's like they do use it for legitimate stuff.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like they will have tanks of hydrofluoric acid
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you could steal. But it's like ordering, if I were to be like, I need 1,000 or 100 liters of hydrofluoric acid, I think you can go online, the companies, the most they cap out is like 4 or 8.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really, I bought a 500 ml bottle because it's lab, they all give you like the high purity lab grade
right,
stuff.
right.
You want the industrial crap, especially if you're going to dissolve a body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you get the lab grade stuff, it's like $1 a milliliter. Like it's really expensive.
I was gonna say, like, is there like the perfect crime in your head of how you would do it? Because you obviously know all these techniques, right? So, like, have you planned like? You're like, I'm not obviously. You're not going to kill someone, but you're like,
Are you gonna try to,
if
like,
I did-
incriminate Nigel on camera?
I'm just saying, like,
I don't know if did I fully answer your question that you had?
I think maybe
Yeah,
So there's like, is it true that there's like plastics that go with certain acids?
So I should say that's what I should say, just as that the whatever the last thing. Hydrofluoric
Yeah.
dissolves glass.
Whoa.
So that's like what I in a video, that's why I want to do it, like show.
Yeah.
It's used for glass etching in industry. So it's like very common, which is why I'm saying it's like an industrial acid.
Right.
So people do it if like sometimes, I don't remember exactly, but like if you need to etch glass to like bond things to it or to do like surface treatments, they will do a hydrofluoric acid rinse first. So it's really not uncommon, but it's sold in plastic bottles. So it's like when it's a pain because when you do any chemistry with it, you can't use glassware. You have to
And
use
most
all,
of it's glassware. Right?
you have to use all plastic. And it's like, how do you distill it? You actually have to use, I think, stainless steel. Like you can't.
Oh, so you have to
But-
boil it, right?
Yeah,
You
but,
can't
but
boil it in plastic.
no, it won't boil. And maybe some high temperature, but I wouldn't do it in plastic.
Yeah, plastic would just melt. a lot of the time.
Hydrofluoric
Yeah.
acid, though, I think reacts with steel and iron to make like iron fluoride, but it blocks I think it blocks the rest of the metal from reacting.
Oh,
like it
okay.
forms like a passivation there. I
Okay.
could be wrong, but it's like that's
It's
why
out of my depth.
if it's in the bathtub, even if it like etches away some of the surface,
Yeah.
I think if it's like a steel bathtub or certain metals,
Okay.
like it will get stuck.
Okay. So, all right.
I think I could be wrong.
So okay.
I could
We
be wrong.
wouldn't know.
Okay.
I could be very
We
wrong.
would not know.
I call you up. I'm like, Nigel, I have a body. Don't ask why. How do I get rid of it?
Okay, what I would do is I would hang up, call the police. Oh no, I would stay on the line, not to be. I'd stay on the line, and then I would call.
Okay, you're like, okay.
Phone.
He's going here. He's going here. Go.
Put you on mute. Be like,
Yeah.
so you're asking how do you dispose of a body?
What's okay in the movies? Right?
Hypothetically.
In the movies, because
Hypothetically.
I assume in the movies it's all bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So my perception, I've talked about this before. I think that like just recently, I think we were in Japan talking about it.
Right.
I think anything like your problem is you have a body, right?
That is the problem. That's the problem.
that we're trying to solve.
The solution is to not have a body.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think the more steps you do in between is just you're leaving more evidence.
Because I was going to say, like, if you buy the acid,
Yes.
you buy acid, right? If you
Yes.
do this thing, you do this thing.
everything
This
you
whole
do-
movie shit is just bullshit, right?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you go, okay, the best way to dispose of a body, like, I'm going to chop it up.
Yeah.
Then you just get blood everywhere. It's like, I just think that, like, I'm just saying that, like, I feel like you just are leaving a trail of evidence
Right,
behind.
right.
Yeah.
Whereas I watched, like,
What's like the dumbest thing
I
you've
used
seen
to,
in like,
well,
a
I
movie?
used to edit.
Okay.
I still edit, but I used to edit, like, and just watch a show, A&E, I think it was and ABC 2020.
Yeah.
Which is just like murder cases. And it was kind of
Okay.
interesting because they showed you like they followed like from beginning to end, like the court case and everything. And what I kind of figured out from watching it was the guys who got away with the murder put the least effort in getting away with the murder.
Oh, just chuck it in the river or something?
Well, the guys who were like trying to like stage like a story and they bought fake plane tickets and like did like all this stuff, they just got caught.
Yeah.
Because it was so incriminating. Whereas like the people who didn't get caught, didn't have necessarily like a direct tie to the person.
I was going to say, like, I feel like the moment you have a tie to someone, it's already problematic.
Yeah.
But like some of the ones that the people did, they just took the body, drove to the middle of nowhere, and just buried the body. And like that, it was just like they.
So I'm like, all right, Nigel, got it. I'm going to
But I'm
Phoenix.
saying like it was like it wasn't like this crazy movie scheme.
Yeah.
There was even one that was kind of crazy. The guy just took the body. He lived near the desert. Just drove in nowhere, Nevada, and buried the body.
Yeah, right.
And they knew that I think he had killed a couple people, and they literally spent like with hundreds of people searching for like I think weeks. Never found the body.
Well, 'cause it's fucking Nevada.
Yeah.
And what happened though was they cut a deal with him because I forget exactly why.
This is real, right?
Yeah. They cut a deal with him because the families wanted to know where the bodies were, and they knew he killed one person, but they could not get him on the murder of the other two. And they cut a deal with him because there's no body. They're like, as far as we know, there's no crime. And the deal they cut with him was, if you tell us where the bodies are to give the family like closure, we will not try you for those murders. And the family agreed to it.
Holy
So
shit.
he literally
Got away
then
with
told
murder.
them where the body was and they found it, but it was impossible to find. And I was like, the guy didn't have this crazy scheme. He
That's the
just
most insane like trade offer I've ever heard. Like,
no. They said that the investigator was like, it was one of the worst like offers he ever had to make.
right.
Yeah.
But he was like, at this point, we were never.
Well, you're not
going-
going to, you're not
and he
going
goes,
to.
and he goes, and guess what? We would never. He was never going to get charged anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
So at least the family gets closure.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you have like a place where there's like somewhere where you can dump a body, like bury it, they're like, you just can't. And it was like not, it just wasn't a big scheme.
right.
I don't even know. It's just like, there wasn't this crazy, like, oh, dissolve it in
Yeah,
acid.
so like
and
this whole shit is just a bunch of shit.
But it's just like, why dissolve it in acid? Then you have a bathtub full of.
Yeah, I was going to say, like,
acid.
what do they
But
always
I guess you could drain it down, but then all your pipes just.
Yeah, because like when the plumber comes in, it'll be like, "Hey, did you notice a lot of the pipes are missing?"
gone.
Like, it's gonna sound crazy, but what drain cleaner were you using?
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm sure there's some method that, some
Tell
crazy.
me off camera. Tell me.
No, I'm saying
I'm kidding.
some criminal organization has
Yeah.
perfected it.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, I just feel like everything you do
It's just dumb.
It's not necessarily dumb. I feel like you're just every step
Right.
and thing you take in between is just more you could get caught on.
I don't know what compelled me
I mean,
to
the
ask
first
this
step
question.
is don't have a body.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that question.
don't murder.
Because I was like, I wonder if he's ever thought about it.
Yeah. And that was how to get rid of a body with NileRed, everyone. That's going to be an interesting clip.
I've actually never really put any real thought into
I
it.
thought you were about to say like,
killed anyone. I've never really just had a body that needs to
Disclaimer,
get rid of.
disclaimer.
I just imagined if you were watching a movie and you saw it and you're like, oh, this is such a better way to do it. You got to,
I think what's kind of weird is like, I don't know, I've literally never thought about it.
Yeah.
correct.
Like
answer.
I think like
You've passed. You're allowed back in the country.
I think like the surface level I have kind of just like you see that crazy acid and you're like, well, that'd be crazy. Like if maybe that like if you vaporize a person with that, like maybe there would be no evidence left behind.
Yeah.
But I'd never really like there's no thought after like a fleeting 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, because it sounds like to do the stuff you do, you have to like search up some pretty dodgy shit. What's like the weirdest thing you've had to search up on Google that's to do what you
There's
do?
a lot of people's search history. I want to look through it. Yours is
Yeah.
definitely on the top of the list.
I don't know. I just got you. Like I said, I just search anything. I don't really think too much of it.
And you've never ever been contacted by like a government agency about anything?
Well, once.
Oh.
It was really mundane.
Okay. I'd love to hear anyway.
So what's weird about Canada too is like I find they just don't really, they're not super strict on a lot of stuff. In the US, I probably would not be able to have the same YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Really?
They just raid you for meth like every week.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like
Wow.
I was on a forum for a while before I started, or before I really got like did YouTube a lot. There's a science forum or chemistry. It's called Science Madness.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people would just talk about how they just would knock on your door.
This is right.
And they would just swab everything to see if you're making meth. And
Jeez.
but I've never been contacted like for kind of anything I do.
I did always find interesting how like YouTube has this kind of weird ecosystem where stuff that would channels that can only exist in a certain country,
Yeah.
and not in others,
Like-
right?
Yeah.
Like how there's a bunch of gun content on from America, and it's
Yeah.
like no other country could ever make this type of content.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think
And-
Canada is actually one of the few places in the world that you could have like a proper. And there's the Explosions and Fire, the Australian guy.
Oh, yeah.
I just-
Why are
So-
you looking at me like
so-
a hell?
so, okay.
you know that guy.
No, even as I was describing, like,
Yeah.
I'm sure he likes being described as the Australian guy.
Australian.
So
Yeah.
what do they contact you about, the government?
It was just, it's actually meth related, but it was not meth related in the sense that they thought I was making meth.
Yeah.
I just bought a really big funnel. And like, so in chemistry,
That's great.
In chemistry, there's two levels of, I guess, like glassware and
Okay.
just scale.
Okay,
So
okay.
when you do research, people call it like, it's not really a term that people use, I guess, but this one, I don't really know if there's a proper term, but you'd be like quantities that you do research with.
Okay.
So usually sub a gram.
Right.
So like maybe up to 5 grams. No. Usually it's like a gram and below.
Okay.
A lot of research chemistry is like milligrams.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so if you're buying anything more than a gram,
Because if
it's
you're doing a lot,
suspicious.
it's just it's just expensive.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Like,
okay.
and a lot of the chemicals are expensive. You're just you're
wasting money.
just wasting money and
Yeah.
resources, and you get the same answer anyway.
Right.
But the moment you think you have a good reaction, a lot of times you have to scale it up. So you do like preparation. So it's like preparative chem, which is a different thing because like I'm working in beakers on like, let's say like 500 mils,
Yeah.
250. They're pretty small.
Yeah.
But sometimes people are like, my chemical, I have to use very dilute conditions. I don't make too much. To make, let's say 10 grams, I need to work with like 3 liters.
Yeah.
So you're no longer in the 1 liter beaker. You're kind of with like
Giant
big
leap.
things. So that's fine with beakers because they're kind of just cups.
Yeah.
But you start getting the big funnels, which are very abnormal for like research chem.
Right.
So it's like most people who do that they're preparing chemicals. They're not researching. They're like synthesizing chemicals on a larger scale.
For people to research with.
No.
Oh.
Like a lot of people in research are trying to just like, as far as I know, like prove that their reaction could be scaled up.
Okay, that makes sense.
And some people do it on the preparative scale, like the chemical's like really expensive, but the 2 things that make that chemical are cheap.
That
So
makes
they'll
sense.
buy a lot
Right.
of that
and
and
then
they'll
figure
make
out a way.
some of them will stockpile like a kilo of what they need, and that lasts them like their entire research project.
Okay, that makes sense.
But they don't do it often. And like often in like some of the labs, like the lab I worked in, you'd have like one of those funnels or maybe 2.
And this funnel
some-
is abnormal and sketchy.
It's just the fact that you're only using it to make large amounts of chemicals, and usually, yeah, that's it. That's it. You're just
Right.
making a larger scale.
And that usually
Okay,
equates
so
to-
you buy it, right?
And it's
online.
like, yeah, and it's like a little bit specialized because it's like a full glass like vacuum funnel. And the thing is that it's kind of like
And it's used for meth.
well, in meth, there's kind of a thing. I think it's a 22 liter round bottom flask.
Jesus.
It's in Breaking Bad.
I've heard this. I swear I've heard. I swear I've heard the. What do you mean? I gotta get the 22-liter round bottom flask.
Yeah, so it's like it's literally a thing that in the US in certain places you're just not allowed buying it.
Right.
Or if you buy it, it's like very suspicious.
since Breaking Bad or since before Breaking
It's
Bad?
just, what are you doing with it? Like,
Why do you have to make so much of it? Right?
because it's just such a big, you're preparing so much of a chemical
Yeah.
that like, unless you work for like a large scale industrial synthesis company, why do you own this?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So the moment you get past a certain size and you're like a private citizen,
Yeah.
what in God's name could they be doing with it?
But uranium, fine, right? Just it's the
uranium,
funnel.
okay.
It's the
Honestly,
funnel.
they probably. I don't remember where, like I said, I don't remember exactly where the uranium came from.
Yeah,
But probably if it's like fully labeled and was shipped over the border.
right.
I did order from the US uranium and it was fully labeled, and actually they didn't say anything.
Right.
so you order the funnel online,
Yeah.
right? Or was it a call or what? What is it?
It was a funnel, it was like
and you on like a website?
eBay.
Okay,
You buy
so
a lot of glassware from China.
okay, so you get it on eBay, right?
Yeah.
And is it before it arrives? Right after it arrives? When do they call you? Or
I had it, I think, for like, I want to say like a week.
when they call you up?
Yeah, I got a call from a guy, and the RCMP is the federal police in Canada.
Okay.
But the guy's just like, yeah, I got a notice from like the customs that you bought a funnel. Oh no, he said you bought something, and I need to follow up on it.
I promise I'm not making meth.
I
officer.
would be shitting my pants.
But I could
about
tell that he was in a cruiser, like in a car.
Right.
Like he was calling
So he
while
didn't give a shit.
driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he said, he goes, yeah, I get follow-ups. I have to like just follow up on these things. I need to know what you're using it for. And at first he sounded very suspicious because he's like, you bought it online. I'm like, yeah. And you could, you get that like from law enforcement, you get that feeling.
Yeah,
like they're going to catch you on something.
Yeah, they're trying to like pin you something.
Yeah, like he's suspicious. And then I went, oh, well, like, I run a YouTube channel. And he's like, YouTube. This is like I want to say 2017.
Yeah.
And he's like, YouTube, what do you do on that channel? And I was like, oh, I do chemistry. And he's like, is this something I can look up? And I'm like, yeah, everything I do is like publicly available. He goes, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Anyway, he immediately sounded like he wanted to be off the phone.
You go to your channel, you just see like the notepad open up. Today I'm going to teach you how to make meth. Dun, dun, dun.
No, he immediately sounded like he just didn't want to be in the conversation anymore. And he was like wrapping up. And I even said, oh, do you think it's a good, like, do you want my channel name? He's like, oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. Like just the moment that I even gave like a reason that was half reasonable, he was like, okay, cool. Because I think most people could literally not explain why they have it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure people who order it are probably professionals. And so
Exactly. Working for a company.
It's probably very easy for them to be like, yeah, I'm just doing this. And he's
Yeah,
like, okay.
I said they're in my videos. He goes, if I looked up, I think he's like, if someone went and watched your videos, could they see this funnel? I'm like, yeah, it's going to be in one of the videos.
You have my word, officer.
No, he just suddenly was like, okay, this sounds too reasonable.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I wasn't doing any of that,
Yeah.
like if I feel like having a YouTube channel where everything's so public is what has made my
Made it a
life
lot easier.
Because
to do what
you're
you
self-reporting. You're like, hey guys,
Yeah.
this is what I'm using. This is how much uranium I have.
All
Literally,
the
it's-
evidence is there.
It's literally all the evidence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what-
people just see exactly.
Yeah.
And some people go, but you could be making meth behind the scenes. And it's like, to me, that's like
like, fuck, how did they know?
No, it's the weirdest like conspiracy thing where, I don't know if you follow this, but I've seen some conspiracy stuff where it's like so dumb and everyone's like, well, they're just hiding in plain sight. And I'm like, why would I build an entire YouTube channel
just for me to make
Yeah.
meth.
to make meth? It's like, I could just make meth and not publicly tell everyone I'm a chemist. Like it doesn't, but
It's
now
the perfect cover-up.
Yeah,
That's
they're like,
why,
now you're-
That's
Nigel.
exactly what a meth dealer
No,
would say.
they're like, you're hiding in plain sight. I'm
Yeah.
like, but I could
Okay,
just
to be fair though, you're pretty fucking smart.
no, but the amount of work to make the videos, to edit,
I was gonna say like
would
the amount.
severely impact my meth business.
Yeah. I just want to see the new Breaking Bad arc where Walter White just like starts a YouTube channel.
Or the irony would be that that was the cover,
Yeah.
but then the YouTube channel started making more than the meth business.
I'd like to think
So
that.
you just phased out the meth.
I mean, there is a world where I could compete.
Yeah, it's like the irony is that like your YouTube is more lucrative
Yeah.
than meth.
Yeah, you're right. Walter White is small brain for fucking buying a car wash.
Yes.
Well, what use is a car wash to your cover?
Could have made a YouTube channel.
Exactly.
Funnel the money. Yeah, officer. I needed to spend $10 million on 10 liters of bromine. I mean, what can I say?
Yes.
Just buy really expensive chemicals that you don't end up using. It's a perfect cover-up.
I do buy a bunch of expensive chemicals that I don't
Get that
use.
tax bill down. I wanted to know about. This is completely unrelated to anything. This great channel called Nile Green. What do you think about this channel?
Wait, what is it?
I thought that the era of Nile Green is over.
Is it really?
We don't talk about it anymore.
Is it really?
No.
Wait, what's
well,
Nile
kind
Green?
of.
What is Nile Green?
You never seen Nile Green?
No, I haven't. No.
I mean, I know of Nile Red.
Yeah.
So I assume it's something to do
So
with that.
there was a guy, another Australian man.
Okay.
These guys are very,
Joey knows him,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah, he's probably my mate. Yeah.
He at the time I think I knew he was Australian because if you go to the about page it said Australia. But he would put my voice into like an AI bot.
He literally had like a perfect voice generator.
Yeah, that would basically like learn your kind of cadence and how you sound, and then you could type out what you want the person to say. And it's like
funny.
It's kind of like, I would say it's similar to like not a bad deep fake, but I'd say like an okay deep fake in terms of like changing people's faces,
Right.
where it's like it's close enough that if you're not paying attention, you might be tricked, but if you like actually pay attention, you're like, okay, that's
clearly
you can see like
It does
you can
take
see
a
like
second.
artifacting. So when I first heard it, like this guy would make these videos,
Right.
and I heard it, and like for the first like 30 seconds, I'm like, I never said this. And then you hear it and you go, okay, this is clear, like it's a robot voice.
It's like a parody channel, right?
But they would do like these parodies, which were actually good. Like I would say that
very, very good.
like it's not like those low level parodies where they're like, oh, he does chemistry. Again, like I know Breaking Bad, let's combine the two. Oh, let's just do like some like chemistry meme stuff.
Yeah.
He would like reference things that were like very obscure. And I watched it and I'm like, this guy has to have a chem background.
Right.
Like he has to know chemistry. Because he would be even making like references to like chemical processes. And I'm just like, again, they're not like super in depth, but I'm like, this guy knows chemistry.
Like he did it.
Like he knows
he
the
knows the
existence of
channel.
the process.
Like he knows the channel, and he didn't just learn it from watching the channel. Like he knows.
You got to
stuff.
watch this. It's stuff's crazy.
Now you're describing it.
So it's
I
like,
really
and
want
even the
to.
filming, like he would do things where like this guy knows how to edit.
Like it's an insane amount of work just for a parrot.
Like he would do things where I'm like, I don't even know how he edited that.
Was that like flattering or was it like, what the fuck is happening?
I loved it. When I first watched it, I was like, I thought it was so funny. The problem was that like after he had made like 5 or 6 videos, it was when people started being confused. They thought it was me. And I was like, okay, this is like kind
I
of
thought it was like a second channel or something.
yeah, because he even copied the aesthetic. So and the gloves and like the lab coat sometimes, like it would look really similar to the point where people thought it was me.
Right.
And I was like, okay, if this guy has bad intentions, he could actually
Like harm your
That's
reputation.
scary that
like
someone-
Will kind of commented on it. He goes, if this guy just like started doing like really racist stuff, really like, you know, kind of like just wholly offensive or even illegal stuff. It's like people might think I'm doing it, and then I get in trouble.
Right.
That's crazy that we've gotten to the point now where someone can
Like impersonate
deep
you,
fake your voice to the point where they can genuinely like affect your livelihood. Because the machine is so good at imitating you.
I need to hear
It is
this.
crazy.
I got to see this.
Oh
now.
my! I'll just play a little. I'll play.
Oh no!
I'll play a little audio clip
Thought this
real
was
quick.
done.
So did you have to
I
done?
escaped it.
Did you have
did
to
you-
like message him to be like, yo,
So
dude?
I ended up, I don't remember. Oh, so
Okay, hold on.
I got bored feeding wieners to my acid. So today I felt like exploding some sulfuric acid. Here is my stick of dynamite. This is made with love.
Like it's not perfect, but it's shocking how
it's
good
like
it
it's
is.
But
not
even
paying
the
attention.
aesthetic.
yeah.
Just to prove this is sulfuric acid, here is the pH. Let me reiterate, this is the pH. So he did make, but the thing is like, he did make piranha there. So when I watched it, I'm like, it wasn't just like an effect. Like he has concentrated sulfuric acid and hydrogen peroxide, and he's making legitimately like a very dangerous concoction. So I'm like, this guy knows chemicals.
Right,
So that's the thing too, is like, he wasn't just deep faking it. He was good at video editing, putting the videos together. He came up with
This
all
is
the
like
ideas.
some kind of movie where someone's slowly replacing you.
Yeah, like
I think there have actually been movie plots that are legit that, right?
Yeah. So you reach out to him.
so since he's Australian, and there's very few Australian like YouTube creators,
Thought you were going to say
and he's
people.
no, I guess too. But he's also into chemistry, so he knew the other. I said the Australian guy before. Explosions and Fire. I don't know who reached out to who, but Tom, who runs Explosions and Fire, told me. He's like, "Hey, dude, like I've spoken to him."
Yeah.
So then now there was like
A connection.
a connection.
Right.
So then we ended up just like, he wanted to do another video, or he wanted to talk to me. So I'm like, okay, I'll talk to him. I ended up saying like, if you want to make another video, that's fine. Like, I don't want to just come in here. I think it's funny. I don't want to come in here and just be like,
Shut
like,
it down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like your time is done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but if you keep making it, like I'll probably have to do that because you are like is potentially a liability. And I'm like, I don't think you have any bad intentions, but
it could go the wrong
it could
way.
go the wrong way. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't think it's unreasonable that people are thinking that I run this channel and there's
Yeah.
like some issues.
It could be like, I could see if someone had only watched maybe one or two of
Yeah.
your videos
Yeah,
in passing, and they find this channel and it's branded a little too similarly.
They got a lot of views.
Oh no, they have a shit ton of views.
So it's like, it was enough people that I was like, it's going to cause problems. But it was very reasonable. He's like, oh, I agree. So
Right.
he's
Oh,
like,
that's good.
Yeah,
That's good. That's
Yeah.
but he also said, he goes like, and it makes sense from a guy who put that much effort and made such like high quality stuff.
Yeah.
As a parody, like the amount of work that went in was insane.
Yeah.
He goes, I like filmmaking. I like writing. He goes, I don't want to be just a guy who parodies one person.
Yeah.
And he goes, he goes, what? I'm just in forever just making parodies of you. He goes, that sounds horrible to me.
Yeah.
So he's like, I want to do YouTube. I want to figure out like the type of content I want to make. So he goes, I was going to phase it out anyway.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, so it's kind of good.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's like, do you mind if I make like one or two more videos? And I was like, look, if you have really good ideas for both,
Yeah.
you can make two. I'm like, but if you only have like one hype video that you know of now, and he's like, yeah, I don't really know what I do for the other one. I'm like, then probably just, you know.
Stick to one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did, and then I even said after that too, you should probably change like the channel from like Nile Green to something else, and he did. Like I didn't.
Right.
He just ended up like a month or two later, he ended up just like changing.
Oh,
it.
that's good. That's
No, he was like, he clearly was not a malicious person.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Like, and we had him on our podcast too.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I wonder,
Good
like,
ending.
if let's say somebody used your voice, I'm like, could you copyright claim that?
Yeah. How do
That's a very interesting question.
I've never copyright claimed my own image.
Like,
you know.
Yeah.
Like if somebody, because it's you have image rights.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's any laws of
Yeah. Voice rights.
vocal rights or anything.
I think it's like one of those areas that you get into that you're just gonna. I would say if you have enough money, you can sue anybody.
Yeah, of course.
But if you don't want to bleed yourself dry, trying to like, it's like what I sue
Right.
with every dollar I have, and it's
Right,
like-
right,
it's
right,
like,
yeah.
And now you stop making these videos, but I have no money and I didn't work for a
I just
year.
wonder, like, let's say, there's someone clearly imitated my voice and it's good enough where people genuinely think it's me. And I copyright claim them and then they counterclaim. I wonder if what YouTube would be like,
I don't think you can. So copyright is for like a published work. So I don't
Right.
think
Yeah.
your voice, the tone of your voice, is not copyrightable. I don't think, but I think that like if people stealing your likeness, and this is
yeah, because it's your likeness, right?
but
It's a
that's not
package.
illegal. They would have to steal it, and you have to prove damages.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think this is a whole new fucking territory because
Yeah.
deepfakes have
It was
only
just never a- yeah.
it's never really become a big
Problem left
thing
to deal with
yet.
in the next few years, I'm
But I
sure.
would say
Yeah,
the
yeah,
closest is like impersonators who would just by their voice impersonate.
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
But it was like, unless they're damaging you, like if they're just
so they
if,
can, I get that makes sense.
if
yeah,
they're
yeah.
selling your likeness and they're like going on the street like I'm so and everyone who walks by is like, okay, this is not the guy. Like,
Yeah.
he's an impersonator. But it's like if you actually start like
Causing
pretending
problems.
and then making videos of yourself and making fake videos trying to convince the public that this
You are
person's
this
doing
person.
horrible
Yeah.
things, like then you can be sued. But that's a crime. Like you're defaming them and
Yeah.
like potentially identity
Identity
theft.
theft,
Yeah.
But it's like just copying the voice.
Yeah, I mean, my
Yeah.
first content was impersonation mainly. So
Yeah, I mean, he started off as an impersonating.
Were you ever charged for your?
I was charged for my crap. No, I'm good friends with the voice actor actually.
What did you do?
I was anime, and I used to copy a voice of one of the characters and just make videos about that. And then that's
Like you pretended you were them, or people knew?
No, I
that?
never said I was them.
Yeah, that's-
I didn't go around being
Yeah, it
like,
was
hey,
just
it's me.
almost
I was
yeah,
like,
it was
I'm
just- it was
pretending to
like
be this
parody.
character.
Yeah.
And for the first few weeks, people were very confused because I was still small. And they were like, oh, the guy did
They made a
this.
side channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't brand it as like, I'm them or anything. It was just
Yeah.
like, I impersonated the voice and did stupid stuff.
Yeah.
That maybe could be considered damages. Who knows?
Because I've actually thought about this because I was just thinking how much audio content is there of my voice online.
Oh, people
now?
can for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
it's just-
the
it's-
amount of hours of trash taste that we've put online.
Oh, God, yeah.
You
Yeah,
can easily
yeah.
make a fucking deep fake, and like I've literally seen like some meme videos because we talk a lot on trash taste.
Yeah.
and I there's like I can hear a voice line that's clearly me, and I recognize that is me. I have no recollection of ever saying that word voice line in my life. You know,
I've said
I
so
feel like
much
that's
shit.
a very weird feeling too.
Yeah.
Like just thinking that, like not remembering
not
you said something.
Not remembering.
Because normal
but clearly
people don't have to
recognizing-
fucking listen to their own voice.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's kind of scary and weird whenever that happens, and yeah, I think
That's how I felt when I watched the deep fake of the voice.
That
I'm
must
like,
have been so
Yeah.
creepy.
No, but I was just like, I didn't say this.
yeah.
Right.
I don't remember saying. I don't remember this video.
What did I?
Do you have a fucking split personality?
Yeah, then you start like questioning your sanity, and you're like, okay, no.
I don't
The
remember,
ultimate gaslight.
I don't remember putting the dynamite in the acid. That's really
Yeah, I
weird.
was like, did he splice it? I just like,
Yeah.
it's confusion for like a little while.
It's like that seems like something I would do, but I just have no recollection of actually
So,
doing it.
what's the next steps for NileRed then? What's the goal, or is it just make more videos? 'Cause you don't upload a lot.
I quit. No, that's
That's
Like
the meme,
meth,
isn't it?
the meth lab finally takes off.
yeah, no, because like it's always like a push and pull between meth and YouTube.
right,
and right now the meth is like
The meth's popping off, dude.
Yeah, but once the market goes like a little bit down,
right.
like that's when the
He's
YouTube.
got the cover done, so
It's like depends on what the CPM's
yeah, that's
at.
actually why I only post videos every few months, is because meth production.
Why is the reason why your videos just take so long? Like, what's the main, like, is it just everything?
Okay, so
I assume it's just like a lot of testing, right?
there's it's honestly putting the video together.
Oh, really?
right.
is like the last video to put to. The last video was the hardest. It took me, I think, I would like to say like 2.5 months of full-time work, where I say like there's no weekends. Like you're just working
yeah.
as much as you can every day for 2.5 months. That was to film. And then to edit was like a month and a half, a bit over a month.
And you edit all your videos?
Yeah.
Oh my
Because the problem
God.
is you have so many videos. You have all this like random data you've collected, and I have to put it all together. But then I have to do the research to like present it, and then I have to figure out the ways to present it.
So are you just doing a thesis every time you do a video?
I think he is doing
Some of them take just forever.
Right.
But like why they take a really long time to post, it depends on the project. Like some things I've filmed in like a day, and I edited in like 4 days. This was like 2 years ago.
It depends on what you're
That was like
doing.
the peak when I could do a video in a week. But I've realized I like the ones that take a while.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to figure out like how to balance. I really like the filming part, but the editing is.
You got to get yourself an editor, bro.
But it's not the actual act of editing.
Right.
It's like the biggest problem for me is like how do I present all the information?
No, I get that.
Like
I
make
get
it
that.
cohesive.
So like,
Right.
for example, I'll have, let's say, I don't know, on ferrofluid or one of these things I've done. I will literally have like, let's say 30 different things that I'm like, I have to mention this or it doesn't make sense. And it's like, where do I mention it? Because the thing I hate I don't hate it in science videos, but I don't like taking pauses to explain things.
Yeah.
So like everything I explain has to be when it's relevant.
Right.
That makes sense.
You
Okay,
don't like
yeah.
like massive information dumps, right?
No, so it's
Yeah.
like if I'm going to mention this point, it's
Yeah.
only at a point that it's relevant.
Right.
So I have to then take time to write and put all these points in at certain parts. And
Right.
then it's like, what parts do I include? What don't I include? And then I have to like watch my own videos and then be like, I did this. And then let's say color changes. Why? There's no documentation.
Yeah.
So I have to go and look at it. And it's like, I could hire somebody, but there's no notes. They just have raw video. Like sometimes it's like a terabyte and a half of just raw video.
Yeah.
And they don't even know what happens in the clip. But I know that out of the 40-minute clip, that twice in it, I added something.
Right.
And the color doesn't even change, but I remember. So it's like, I know where to find those clips and look for certain things.
yeah.
And so you upload these videos that take just so long, right? And how does YouTube view it? Is it like, do they demonetize it often, or is it age restricted? Because I wonder like how they
Like, what's the CPM on like those kinds of content? Like, is it worth
I
the
wonder, like,
large gaps in time, or
what is it like categorize it as?
I think
Education.
Probably
science.
education.
Educational,
Right? Probably
I assume.
education.
Yeah. Anal lube?
I think the long videos I've been doing are definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Because like in between posting videos, the AdSense doesn't really change.
Right.
So it's like when I post it, it spikes, and then it goes like after like 2 weeks, it goes down, but then it just doesn't change.
Yeah. yeah,
Right.
yeah.
and you have infinite rewatchability because I watch it like 4 times because I have no fucking clue what happened. That's the big range.
That is why I keep getting
That's
more
Yeah,
views.
I'm like, how is it
I know,
9
yeah.
million times? It's like it's just the scientists rewatching it 10 times to figure out how to make a ferrofluid.
Well, actually, I think when we look at the videos, the average person who's watched the video has seen it twice.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
you
so
kind of,
People do apparently come back out of confusion.
I think
you
sometimes
kind of have to because there's so much presented to you like at once.
Yeah.
And as someone who has zero knowledge of chemistry,
and I have to cut out like 90%.
But also,
it's very compact.
do you get a lot of people telling you that your voice is just relaxing and then they just
then-
play your videos?
and they don't even know what's going
Yeah,
on.
I've done that a few times because I'm just like, I need something
It's
in the
just like
background.
ASMR.
So I just play you because it's like, it's constant. It's like
Yeah.
you don't change inflections.
That's part of like, it's not that's what makes the voiceover hard.
Yeah.
Because like I try to make it the most unintrusive ever.
It is. It's very much, there's no, like, you don't like, the way you're talking is the speed doesn't change, the volume doesn't change. You're very good at it. Like
That's why it was so easy to deepfake.
Exactly.
that's honestly like props to you because that's not easy. Like a lot of people do very rookie mistakes when they're recording, and the first word they'll say often is the loudest. So you'll
I
hear, you
learned
can
how
hear.
to like. So I learned how to not do that, and like at one point I tried to get like compressors and everything to try, but I just don't use any of that anymore.
But even though, like when you're recording, you can tell when a compressor is compensating. Like you can hear.
I don't like artifacts, so I don't like I don't use any of like the plugins.
Yeah.
But I learned, and it's like I never really looked it up. I just would hear the audio and hate certain things.
That's funny.
And then try to find out. Like the one was like the lip smacking.
Right.
So it's like all the mouth noises I just couldn't stand.
I use plugins to get rid of them.
Oh, I do. So here's the thing.
Okay,
I
okay.
still do because
Because you can't stop that. You can't. No. There's no
But, like,
training on earth.
I remember watching some videos and they're like, when you speak, lift your lip off your teeth.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
get used to just not touching your lips to your teeth when you speak.
Do I do that?
I've
I don't think I do
never.
that.
So I caught.
I've never done shit.
No, but
now I'm super self-conscious about this. Fuck.
But I'm not saying like fully, but like I've consciously like tried to not. And I noticed it made it so that I went from like if you don't listen to my early video, you hear a lot more mouth noises.
Well, it's mainly to do with how much water you're drinking and the pace you're drinking it. So you want to like
So I
sip.
drink a lot of water.
You want to sip gradually as you're recording. If you drink too much, it will sound really fucking slappy.
Yeah,
if you drink too little, it'll just your lips will be like bone fucking dry.
You definitely still need to do the plug-in to remove it.
Oh yeah, because it's natural. Like everyone has it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that when you're listening to someone naturally, you just don't hear
You
it.
don't. But I don't know. It's like the mic seems to pick it up even more.
Yeah. And there's another thing you can do if you are having the problem you're a YouTuber where you're talking and you start, because you do a redo, but you start the sentence halfway. So how do you make it sound like you've done the sentence
trail the
halfway,
sentence,
right?
yeah.
So you say something before it. So you go like, okay, now this is what I'm going to do. So then the first now isn't as loud.
Yes.
Because normally if you go okay, I'll do another one. Right now, and then you trail in.
So like, exactly. And like, I find that what do I do is you say the end of the couple words from the last
yeah,
sentence.
that helps a lot. Yeah.
But what I would find was starting with T's and other stuff.
Yeah.
Even when you trail in, they're pretty
It's hard.
bad.
Just get used to it.
sometimes.
I've never thought this deeply at all about my
me
audio.
Well, you'll
and
notice because you'll just be
narration.
listening and you'll be listening to a sentence
And it's just loud.
And randomly halfway through a sentence, YouTubers will have this like audio spike.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they just
Wait,
cut.
that was clearly a cut.
Yeah. And it's like, or even just, it's just slight, but it's like, it's like,
I don't like it. So it's like when I do I like audio work. I don't know why. I like doing all the audio work. And when I take out all the lip smacks, it'll take out like 3,000 of them. And I'm like, all these people don't have to listen to 3,000 horrible noises.
It's like with YouTubers that do a bunch of cuts, right? It does kind of lend well to the cut, but every time they cut, they're restarting. So they start loud again.
Yeah.
Because they didn't mean to, but every cut is them restarting and they're loud because you start loud. Just because the way that how speaking works is that you don't have volume control very well on the very first thing you say.
Yeah.
Because you're just pushing air out. So it's quite,
I think you got to get the vocal cords.
yeah.
vibrating,
It's quite like explosive. I'm like explosive. I don't want to get you excited.
No, they scare me. They scare me.
But that's how it is. So tip. That's how you go. Top tip.
I think I'm lucky that just my narrations has always been like high energy.
Yeah,
So I've never, like,
it
been able
lends
to-
well to high energy people. But if you're
Yeah.
trying to sound like just calm and just trying to talk and narrate naturally, or if you're doing slow narration or you're doing dramatic narration, it's very important.
That's where the birth of the "What's up, guys" started.
Literally, that's literally where it starts.
Wait, actually, like
I feel like that's where it started. It's like
It's just
that
an
style.
exaggerated version of that, right?
style has evolved because people would just start by saying like, "What's up, guys," and then they would trail off immediately.
Yeah.
Right. Not intentionally, but
The
that style
"what"
is just
so loud compared to everything else.
and the thing that like even with voiceover, the thing that got me too is like depending on the time of day, that you do it.
Okay.
You didn't know about this?
Tell me.
So because my videos are so long,
Yeah.
and they could be like the last one's like an hour of voiceover. You can't do it all in one sitting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't. You can't. Like my voice gets too tired.
Yeah.
And also, if you have to go back, and let's say I notice a problem, and you have to go and replace a clip. How do you not sound different?
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah, I've had those problems.
Yeah, that's been very notable for me.
I have the secret.
What is the
What is
secret?
it?
What is it?
The secret is, for at least for me, if you do, because as the day goes on, your voice changes.
Yeah.
As you have like more.
the morning is notably more gravelly.
And you get like it does change. So I would always do my narration like
Around the same time of day.
around the same time, like never
impressive.
earlier than a certain time,
Right.
Because it's been warmed up from talking,
Yeah.
and just doing that made it like way more consistent.
Well, I notice it's the time of day, but also it really much depends on, sometimes it's the weather that you
Yes.
record it. Sometimes
Yes.
like when it's a really humid day, like recording in the summer, I sound totally different than recording in the winter.
Yeah.
Because the atmosphere is different.
Yeah.
The air's different.
Thankfully, it's not like an issue like for one video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Between, you definitely can, and even over time, like if you go back and hear your other videos, your voice does change.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
Yeah.
Look at accent changes easily. My accent's changed a shit ton.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah, so
Wait, I don't know if I think I watched a video that you were in with.
Oh god, my old accent.
You're mentioning it, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I used to have like a completely different accent, but I mean, your voice changes all the time. It's very normal.
My voice, if you go back in my videos, I didn't narrate. Like I just kind
just
of like
talked.
I kind of just talked, and then I got sinus surgery, and my voice did change like significantly.
Right.
In a lot of people commented on it.
Huh. Do you
'Cause,
prefer your voice now as then?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like it sounds because my nasal cavity got opened up, so there's like more resonance in it.
Well, I think having
I
something.
don't know if it's better or.
Well, I think having a distinct voice helps a lot with YouTube. I don't
Oh,
just
definitely.
personally. I
'Cause,
feel like
you definitely have a very, very distinct voice. You know, when your videos pop up, I know I'm watching a Nile Red video.
it's just like I don't know if I developed a distinct voice
Yeah.
or if I just.
like your voice is on the same level as my mind as like chills, like levels of distinct on YouTube, like. No, like notable
Number
voices
15.
on YouTube is like Nile Red.
But I've
Chills.
never said like what's unique about it.
I don't know. It's just like when you hear your voice, there's no mistaking it that it's you talking.
It's your cadence.
So
Yeah.
that it changed because of doing voiceover, like for the
Right,
channel.
right.
It would irritate me when because I can't slur words.
no, of course not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would just enunciate like very
You're very
Oh,
clear.
I thought you just said
enunciation.
it's impossible for me to
No,
slur
no, no,
words.
no.
I was like, I wish I had that power, man.
I just became very aware of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I think it just made me so conscious of how I spoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That-
Because you speak like that off camera as well. So it's like, it's clearly like, I'm sure there's like some voice over like elements to it as well. But I think just naturally you've grown the ability
It's
to just
from doing
speak
the
like that.
voiceover.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And
I remember when I first met you, I was like, oh, he sounds exactly like he does in his videos.
Now what I've got here.
I never he sounds scripted. I just sound scripted in real life.
Every conversation is scripted.
And I think it's cool that you have a voice where people are like, whoa, I talked.
And then they're like, do the thing.
Yeah,
do the
exactly.
thing, say the
I just
thing.
love it. Like, why did you even? Oh, it's good. It's good.
Because there's a lot of YouTubers where it's like they have the YouTuber voice and then they have their real life voice, and it's
So-
it's the same, but it's also like the way that they say certain phrases and the way that they the cadence of some sentences is very much like a performative manner
Yeah.
on YouTube, whereas like in real life it's not so much like that.
I would say that there is. I mean, I think everyone has that, like myself included.
Right.
In my sense, it's like there are certain sentences I can't say on script because I don't think I just don't think they have a good sound to them.
Right.
So like there are certain things I wish I could say, but I can't.
Like what?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. But it's like if I'm trying to like word something,
Yeah.
Right.
saying the word sentence in a certain way just doesn't sound nice. And sometimes I try to come up with all these different ways on how to like move the sentence around or use a different word.
Yeah.
And I can't come up with it, so I just can't say the sentence.
Huh. That makes sense. That's pretty normal, though, I think, for voiceover. You
Yeah.
just change it.
Like certain things, like it's very tough for me to do voiceovers that other people give me the
Script.
script. Because like you said, like I sound very similar to the voiceover, and it's because I don't know why. Since the beginning of doing YouTube, I always wanted to be like as close to real as possible.
Yeah, of course.
So because of that, like I don't I don't know why. I just try to be like as.
Well, it's like the performative side to an extent, and the natural one don't. It's not like one of them is like up here. It's like they both kind of come closer together in a way.
I just want everything to be like as real and genuine as possible.
Right.
And that was like since it started. Like I would never like I even before I did any endorsements, I was like, I will never endorse like anything in any way that I don't truly like use or enjoy myself.
Yeah.
And that was even before I like the prospect of anything like that was even a
That
thing.
makes sense.
Yeah, because I totally get you about the whole script things and sometimes things sounding wrong because these boys can attest, but whenever we have like an ad read, I struggle
can't do it.
so much because it's not written within my voice.
Yeah.
So it's so unnatural for like my mouth to, I guess, make those movements, and it just takes a while to like warm up, I guess. I
I feel
know.
that's definitely a common thing with a lot of YouTubers who write their own scripts in their videos.
Yeah.
Like I feel with like
That's
like
true,
for
yeah.
me and Connor, for example, who don't necessarily script our stuff all the way through.
hell no.
Where it's like I think it's a little bit easier because we're not used to the rhythm of, you know, a certain way that we say certain things that only we can write.
Yeah.
I think I agree, but I think that for me too, like it just made me think of something how as I would write the script out, because I think this is probably why my voice and like the way I spoke changed. I want to be as real as possible.
Yeah.
So I became very, very aware of times I repeated words
Yeah.
when I said
Yeah.
when I did a lot of these things. So like anytime I would say the same word twice, I didn't like that. And I became aware even in like everyday speech.
Yeah.
I will not say the same word twice. I will try. I just was like, I became I don't know why. I just stopped doing it.
Right.
So,
But I mean, that's not necessarily a bad habit.
It's not
to
Man's
have.
vocabulary is off the charts.
no, it's just like, it sounds bad. It's only really occurring to me right now. Like, let's say this, if you want to call this like a bottle.
Yeah.
If I were to say like, oh, like this bottle's really cool. If I were to have to say the word bottle twice in like really close together, I would probably just not say it. I'd say this. I wouldn't say bottle.
Right.
Because I just became
like you wouldn't replace it with like a synonym. Like you wouldn't be like, this bottle's really cool. I really like this container.
that too close is weird.
Yeah.
But it's like I became abundantly aware when like in a script someone would be like, this bottle's really cool.
You've already
I
mentioned
bought
it's
this
a bottle. Yeah, I see.
It's like,
Okay,
I bought
I
this
see.
bottle the other day because I like bottles.
Yeah.
Like that started just hurting me so bad.
Yeah.
So I would be like, just in everyday speech, I would stop repeating words if they were too close. And sometimes I would get a sentence that I couldn't find a replacement.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wouldn't.
Mention it.
I'd be like this, or like I would just like
That
you know,
makes sense,
just give
yeah,
up,
but-
or I won't mention it.
That makes sense. I mean,
But it makes no sense because people aren't, and it got really bad in text messages. Because sometimes I wouldn't find.
Okay,
I
in
couldn't
text
find,
that sounds weird.
No, but
Yeah.
I couldn't find a way to not repeat the word.
Right.
So I would just not reply.
I think that's OCD.
No, that's when I started to realize I'm like, my life is not a performance. I don't.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there was no repercussions to it.
You like text somebody like, was the script good? What script? Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
It wasn't like there were no repercussions. It's just that I started noticing the lip smacking and the repeated words so much that when I heard other people do it,
It bothered
especially with my brother, I'd be like, what is this guy doing? Like that's so, like it would feel like nails on a chalkboard. So that when I would do it, I would suddenly become like weirdly self-aware as I'm
see, I
talking,
see. That makes
and it
sense.
would stop me.
Okay.
you. That makes sense.
But that's why I feel like it changed the way I spoke and the way I did a lot of stuff because I was like so aware. I became super aware of the way I spoke.
This is the making the murder of Nile Red. This is the backstory.
I gotta loosen
It
things
is
up
almost an
though.
Well,
American.
damn.
How many? There's so many text messages
such
that have.
a, such an intro.
We
Like,
didn't even get to talk about why you're in Japan or anime or anything, but I mean, like, I mean, everything else you told was so goddamn interesting that I didn't give a shit about asking you about anime.
honestly, I hardly said a word this podcast. I'm just like, I just want to hear.
So, yeah.
I just want to hear more about
Yeah.
what the antics you've gotten
Yeah,
up to.
sometimes you just have some guests who just have such fucking weird stories and lives that
I
it's
just
like,
turned into an audience member.
yeah, I just want to hear what
I
you have to
mean-
say. Because you obviously, like, especially when you're the type of YouTuber that you are, that through your YouTube videos, we don't really get to see your personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I find there's just so much more questions to ask.
Yeah.
That's why I find it fun coming on, like, and doing stuff. Because I mean, before the podcast that, like,
Safety third. With,
before Safety Third, I never talked about anything.
Yeah.
Like, people didn't know anything about me.
Just,
Really.
just sat in a corner, brooding.
Well, I meant, like, I was very, like, everything is scripted, right? So you'd be very careful what you say.
You weren't like they didn't know anything about you.
Yeah.
No, like, and I would never be like, I'm just gonna make a video talking about myself. Like, why?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I was the same way
Chad.
where before Trash Taste, everyone only knew me for my scripts. And
Yeah.
nothing about what you did or your personality or anything
Yeah.
like that, right?
And it's like, unless you're gonna go out and make like proper content, it feels like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Whereas like, it feels like what you're trying to get out is casual.
Yeah.
But you're now going down the same path of just like making more scripted content to try to
Exactly.
show how your like casual side.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So until the podcast, I just kind of didn't really have.
Well, I can see why now through this podcast you never did a Draw My Life because it would have just been fucking chaotic. Just like, so when I was 9, I bought my first blowtorch, and it's just like, okay,
It's
You had a wild
the
child.
one thing
You
I'd
had a
say
wild child.
is
Yeah.
because it's my friend. I should give him a shout out, Greg. I don't know if he's gonna watch this. He's in another. He's in Australia.
Hey,
So there's a
let's
lot
go.
of he was the guy I did like all the childhood stuff, like
Right,
projects with. I remember him coming to me. I went to the same elementary school as him, but then like not the same high school or Seja, but then we reunited in university.
Yeah.
I remember him telling me, he's like, yeah, in this time, like I talked to a lot of people about my childhood, and he goes, I would literally be like, oh, you know when you were younger and you'd like build bike ramps, and they're like, no.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's like, you know, like, you play with fireworks.
no.
And he's like, do you
I
know like
didn't.
BB guns? And they're like, I like play video games. I like read books.
I played video games.
He's like, I started to realize my childhood wasn't normal.
yeah.
Yeah, because like I was going to one thing I wanted to ask was, did you have video games as a kid?
Oh, we played a lot. We
Okay,
played a
okay,
lot.
okay.
How do you have time? I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Basically, like long story short, we did all of this because how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, so I'm 30.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe you got like more into the digital age younger.
Yeah,
Whereas
definitely.
like I only got internet when I was like 12. So that was like the tipping point of there was nothing else to do.
Yeah, I got internet
As
when I
a
was
30-year-old, as a 32-year-old, I would like to say, just
man.
because we didn't have the internet doesn't mean we started blowing up shit.
Yeah, it's like I said, the internet is the only thing holding back anarchy.
Like every 30-year-old is just like a mad
I'm
scientist.
saying, like after that, I did end up getting like really into video games, and that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
where like the period I didn't do a lot of projects. But I will say, I also did things like, you know, I sometimes just put little circuits together. You click a button, and a light bulb turns on. I did some simple things.
Okay.
It's all about the
All right, before you incriminate yourself further, is there anything you'd like to tell the audience or want to promote?
Yeah, shout out your YouTube channel.
All right, links down below.
All right, everyone go
Check them out.
Everyone go check out Nile Green. Everyone's
Yeah.
favorite YouTube channel.
Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Go check out the Safety Third podcast as well
Yeah.
if you want to hear more crazy antics. Because we only had 2 hours, but I feel like we've not even come close to unpacking
I also
everything.
feel like I
we've been to.
should have like I feel like I wanted to ask you guys more stuff too. 'cause I don't know.
No.
We talk enough about ourselves.
We're
It's fine.
we
I don't
shut
know.
the fuck up.
I genuinely don't know like too much about you guys.
Great, we'll come on your podcast, and then we
Yeah.
can reverse the roles. Then,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
That's
just asked me
true.
about anime when I went on, and I was like, "Oh shit, I don't
I
know."
love it. But hey, look at all these patrons though on the
Oh,
screen
wow,
right now.
amazing.
Support
Thank you
the
so
show.
much.
They definitely blew up shit when they were little.
Who's the craziest patron? Point at one on the screen right now.
Where would it be?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that- right-
That's
right- There you go. There you go. There you go. You did it. Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey.
Oh, go. On.
No, sorry. Hey, if you'd like to support the show, then go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And again, yeah, go check out Nile stuff. Links in the description.
Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.